What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That right there is your girl, Adara, and I am Sharif, and oh boy, we got a lot of stuff moving today. There he is. He's right next to me. We'll wait for everyone to weasel on over from the other stream. There they are. Callum Mitchell Miller. Happy Tuesday to you as well, my friend. The Pawns, the Fawns in the house. Shout out to my man, No Lambo Trade today. Well, maybe you took in Tesla along. That was definitely a Lambo trade. So shout out to you. We got Mahash Mahat. We got Brandon Townsend. We got Coin clocking as well as Hold My Beer. Rivian Millionaire making the jump today. Courtney Blake as well as Black Sheep Trades. Balanambi, hello to you as well. Hello, Ronaldo. Come on, don't make fun of him. He scored the second one. He cried on the first one, then he scored the second one. Come on. Let's not give Ronaldo too much grief. Jason Murphy, Michael Sandoval, Dave B, Caesar Sandoval as well, Jeffrey Jang, Fiddlebeck, The One, Lionel Martinez, and Summer B. Mo, what's up, my man? What's up, my amigo? Michael TR, as well as Michael Moore, and Ron John as well made the trip today into the chat. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you this fine morning?
I cannot complain. I had an ortho appointment, and it seems as if, though, Adara, it will not be ending in week 43. It's likely going to go into the fall because, yeah, my cousin's wife is kind of super, let's call it specific.
Oh,
very, very specific, right? So she wants
specific goals. Okay.
Yes. So everything is good there. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. I should address the big old elephant that looks like a Cybertruck in the room. Yeah, I'm shorting Tesla. I know, I'm shorting Tesla. It's okay, I'm shorting Tesla. I am taking Tesla with a responsible amount of size, though, and we're gonna scalp out of this guy right here. If it allows me to. Tesla was like, well, no, Adara, actually, maybe not. But yeah, if we get back to 56s here, we'll be getting out of the T to the S, the L to the A. Why did I short Tesla, you may ask? I was watching this 227. I know, shout out to Obi for his awesome trade long in this, but that 227 was definitely an interesting little area here, right? So I said, I want to see what we do coming back down into 227 as I am a short-minded individual. So I tried this short initially here, get involved 227.44, so I was seeing lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And I said, if we come back to 228s, we get above 228s viciously, I'll get out. We did, I did, it's all good. Then I was ready to go long Tesla 228, but I realized we were seeing lower highs on the book. So I said, Adara, you owe it to yourself to try this short once again. Again, I want to clarify, these are really small positions. It's more about getting the reps in and trusting yourself and trying things that you like. Feel way better about my point of entry here with that 227.84s versus the 227.44s we initially tried here. I'm going to risk this into this 228 kind of 20s there. This is definitely going to be time to leave. Really, and I want to clarify, a lot of my trading style is going to be less specific levels. Of course, you see stuff you like, but it's more going to be trusting myself and trusting my read on things. That's what I'm trying to work on there. So lost about, let's math quickly. Wow, Jerry, you're tired. Lost about 40 pennies there. Was going to risk. I really wanted those 50s, so it's all good there. Good times for T to the S, the L to the A. If you want to be long here, Tesla at 228, I'll get involved long. I have zero qualms. I am qualmless about getting back in the Cybertruck. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I only have one trade on. I just want to talk about it super quick before we start the lesson du jour. So this was an obvious area of resistance to me on Apple. I'm talking about 219.25, and I'll show it to you on my 5-minute look in a second. I actually like this for a possible long. This was an area of resistance from 10:30 till we got the full break at 10:50. So 20 minutes of, a little zig, a little zag, then you get the breakout. Then, lo and behold, we work our way up almost into that 219.90s, come back down. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Where do we hold up again? Yeah, that same area that we had as resistance, now acting as support. So I took the short of 219.20. I took 40 pennies all the way down to 218.80. Call me crazy for shorting AAPL on a day. It's up 1.25 and was strong yesterday, but it was a quick scalp. Wham, bam. Thank you, Apple. We'll keep looking at that. I just saw the Zon make a big boy move through the closing print of yesterday. This is one 5-minute candle there. 197.15. It shoots up into 197.66 in one swift move. So we'll keep an eye on Amazon. It was waffling below the closing print from yesterday. Somebody asked me in the chat not that long ago about shorting Nvidia at these levels. I like the 50 exponential on the 5 Fabian for resistance on NVDA. It acts as a general area of resistance in the pre, and it's acting as one right now. You obviously have the IB high breaking through it into 123.41. But look at the subsequent candles. All did the dance with no pants, with the 50 exponential on the 5. And now it just wicked up to it again at 122 and a third, and another general rejection. So I'm personally not looking short on NVIDIA right now. I didn't have eyes on NVIDIA, but if I had to, with gun to my head or whatever, water gun to my head, with this name, I'd be looking on the 50 exponential on the 5. That's my look. But obviously, yeah, we'll get more nuanced with it later. Goggles is flying into the high side. New high day on goggles as we speak. New high day on Amazon as we speak. And Apple inching in right back into that 86 is printing 69s again. So we'll keep eyes on that. All right, let's get to the lesson du jour. We are talking about moving average, convergence, divergence all dang week. And today we're going to talk about using it with price action divergence. So the MACD goes one way, the price goes the other. So let's get right down to it. So welcome, traders. Today's lesson dives into MACD divergence, a powerful tool for identifying potential trend reversals in the market. So let's get right to it. What is MACD divergence? So imagine you're looking at a stock chart with the MACD indicator on the bottom. Normally, the price movement in the MACD, they tend to move in the same direction. So if you get higher highs and higher lows on the price, you're likely to get higher highs and higher lows on the MACD, but that's not always the case. And that's what we're talking about. But sometimes a divergence between the MACD and the price occur. This means the price and the MACD move in opposite directions, hinting at a possible trend change. So let's talk about that. So there's two types of trend divergence when we talk about with MACD. The first one is bullish divergence, and this occurs during a downtrend. So the price has to be making lower highs and lower lows for this to be applicable. Okay? The price keeps making lower lows, but the MACD, and I'll show you a picture in a second here on the chart, starts forming higher lows. So the price continues to make lower lows, but the MACD says, I've had enough of that, and it starts making higher lows. This is suggesting to you a weakening of the downtrend and a potential move to the upside. Again, this is a reversal indicator, so you should be looking for the trend to reverse when all is said and done. The other one, Fabian, is the bearish divergence. This occurs during an uptrend. And essentially what happens here is the price keeps making higher highs, but the MACD, Fabian, but the MACD line starts forming lower highs, right? This is suggesting a weakening of the uptrend and a potential move to the downside. And here's what the bullish divergence looks like on the moving average convergence divergence and the price chart. So you see this one over here, it's at 104 bucks. There's trough number 1, there's trough number 2. Compare those very same troughs.
Apple.
Go.
Just getting to that.
Thank you, Adara. Thank you for interrupting
thank
me.
you, Neil, for
Here it is.
that as well. Here, Apple, trying to get that 220.
Can we show the tape, please? The book, because we just broke. There it goes, and a little zig, Adara, because it just broke 220. A little bit above it, a little bit below it. The tape is really moving here, and the book is also moving as aggressively. Go. Apple, go. Obviously, I can't be more pleased having this in my personal account, but we're not trading it right now. So yeah, it's pleased for me. Thank you. Pleasing. So guys, keep an eye out on Apple, obviously, as it does its thing 21.
Yes.
So let's move on. So this is over here. What we're looking at is lower lows on the price and higher lows on the MACD. That's really all that we're talking about here. So you're going to have them, one on the top, one on the bottom. That's typically how they show up in order to be able to spot this. The opposite of this is the bearish divergence. And so what we see here is higher highs being made on the price, but lower highs being made on the MACD for those same area crests, okay? And so that is telling you the winds of change, they may be a-coming, and as you can see here, essentially you broke down below that level, coming back into that $13 area after touching 15. So that is what a bearish MACD divergence is. So understanding the divergence. A divergence doesn't always guarantee, sadly, a trend reversal, but it suggests a shift in the momentum. Here's why it's important. Losing momentum. So that's really what's happening. That's what's being displayed on the chart when you see price action MACD divergence. When the price keeps going up or down, works for longs and shorts, but the MACD weakens or diverges from the price, it's suggesting that the current trend, that the one that's in play, is losing steam, okay? There's also the potential for the reversal. So we look at MACD price action divergence for two reasons. One, it could be losing steam, the trend could be losing steam, but it doesn't necessarily have to reverse. It could consolidate, right? It loses steam, it moves sideways, but it could also reverse, so we're looking for both. This weakening momentum can sometimes lead to a trend reversal in the opposite direction, right? And remember, guys, when we're talking about MACD price action divergence, it's not set in stone. You should be looking for confirmation using other technical indicators, right? Divergence is just a warning sign, not a guaranteed reversal. Look for confirmation from other technical tools and price patterns before acting. And false signals, sadly, they are part and parcel of using the MACD. Divergence can sometimes be misleading, but most especially during volatile markets, MACD doesn't seem to work as well. And some beyond the basics here, right? The strength of the divergence can actually be indicative in and of itself. So noting the divergence between price action and MACD, that's one thing. Then we can get more nuanced with it by looking at the strength of the divergence. What's the distance between the peak or the two crests in the price action and the two crests in MACD, or the two troughs in the price action and the two troughs in the MACD? If they're separated by large margins, then you can kind of get the idea that the greater the difference between the price movement and the MACD, the stronger the divergence signal. That's what we're looking for there. And then there's also this thing called hidden divergence, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second on the next slide. Sometimes the price might make new highs or new lows, but the MACD doesn't quite reach those previous highs and lows. So it doesn't necessarily make, much of a lower high for it to count as divergence, but it doesn't quite get up to that crest or get down to that trough that it had before, so you can kind of glean that. And here's what I mean by that. So these two guys right here, they look awfully similar, right? This one was a bit of a downtrend, but this one was a bit of an uptrend. So that's a bullish hidden divergence. Conversely, the bearish hidden divergence, these ones continue to make lower highs, but these ones are on the MACD, the crests on the MACD, they're not really, diverging all that much. So you have consistency in the MACD, but you have lower highs on the price action. Should be on the lookout for that, as it does change things significantly. So the final word here is MACD divergence, certainly a valuable tool for spotting potential trend reversals. By understanding the different types of divergence, using it with caution, you can improve your ability to identify potential trading opportunities. Remember though, practice this method using SIM, using a paper trading account or whatever. Use it in your head. As long as it is practice and you get to see how it acts IRL in real life before ever using real money on the line.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for going over that and always preparing the lesson. I also think, the hidden divergence, that was new to me. It's the idea that things don't always have to be extremes. If it's like hinting, if it's not screaming, if it's more nudging, like, hey, I'm going this way, then that's still something to keep an eye on, right? So I really like that. And I think that's certainly an interesting element, a certain hidden depth to the MACD. I don't know why that was the voice I used, but it's all good. So I'm in Tesla. I took 50 pennies on that Tesla short earlier, taking that 228 short. Why am I obsessed with 228? I mean, I love reading the book here. That is one of my favorite strategies of trading. Tesla has been bizarre at 228.20. Yeah, that's where we're gonna get out. So yeah, we did lose a little bit there, but you gotta trust yourself. Basically, maybe this was not the trade to take, but the reason I took it was, and I should have been more cognizant with the risk. I'm fully okay with that. But the reason I wanted to take that trade was because we had the 228.20 test, and that's why I took the short, because last time we had that, was able to take 50 pennies. This time, ended up losing a little bit, unfortunately, when I saw that distinct difference. Shout out to OB, I got out. But yeah, really, in retrospect, it's like a Dara. The second you saw we couldn't get below 80s, you should have gotten out of that second short, and then you would have been able to preserve some of that profit. But whatever, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, and shoulda. Look at that. I stand by the fact that I tried to take that trade. I do not stand by the risk management there, but that's all good. You got to learn, you got to grow, and I'm not going to learn by taking trades I'm comfortable in. I'm going to learn by taking trades that push me out of my comfort zone that I take within reason. I have been taking tiny shares with all this Tesla. I want to clarify. I'm being very, very cognizant. I'm not trying to like go run up, have a whole like, you know, party or whatever over here. I don't know what that analogy was. But if we bounce at 228.20s again, that was a great long opportunity earlier. I missed that opportunity earlier, but that means I'm ready for it next time. Watch out, Tesla. I will, in fact, be trading you again. Tried to take an AMD short here. I totally stand by the execution of this because we did have this little below VWAP, right? We come to the 90 MA. In retrospect, we clearly bounced off the 90 MA at 158, but we were waffling lower and we had a massive topping tail candle at the time. Of course, it ended up closing higher. I risked 40 pennies. I risked basically to the top of the topping tail candle at the time. Then I had to get out. Also, I was asked a little bit, so people were like, you know, I know you're asking Sharif about thoughts on Nvidia short. I was also asked about my thoughts on Nvidia short.
Yep.
The way that I trade, I don't know, right? I like having things that are a little bit scalpy, a little bit clearer. To me, as Sharif said, Nvidia a little bit chop and turn, a little bit consolidative. For me, I would probably have to wait for that VWAP projection, which I clearly already missed. If that comes again, maybe I'd be interested, but in that case, we've had higher lows. So I'd have to be very cognizant. As with everything, I will scalp. But right now, my heart belongs to Tesla. And though my heart is currently broken, as Celine Dion said, my heart will go on and on. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that TSLA there. If I like something, I stand by. I just need to be doing the execution better. I need to be doing the risk management better. But you're not gonna learn unless you take these trades, unless you're in the gutter and you try.
Absolutely. I'm trying to weasel into Apple here, got in and then fat-fingered, got out by accident. So I'm trying to get back in, but I'm trying to get in at a price that makes sense to me. Hi, Neil. Let's see exactly what we get. I'm trying to front run the $0.50. Look, it's a 10-period exponential retracement. And so, you know, that's dynamic. They move. And so right now they're below the $0.50. So I was trying to front run it at like 52 pennies, but the bottoming tail of this candle comes into 48. So I did miss that. I suck. And now it's all the way back into 75. All right. Yeah, I could chase it here. I just don't want to. So it's going to have to come into my level. I'm not going to chase it. Now, let's talk about the small cap gappers that are making moves today. I know it's all about these large caps. It's about Tesla. It's about Apple. But hey, we got to show some love to the small cap gappers, right? RDZN, number one gap, like small cap gapper on my list. A nice 74 million shares traded on the day, up 78%. Alas, though, it is trading south of the volume weighted average price, and it is straddling yesterday's resistance. VWAP in this area at 294, 295-ish. This is yesterday's top end in the aftermarket. We moved there, and I don't know why we moved, but it looks like an earnings play of sorts, whatever, at 405. Usually these are earnings play. We get up into that 291. We cleared it today, obviously, by some distance, having gotten up to 331. But look, it's been a short into VWAP all day, and VWAP is not just alone in its area of resistance there. Again, it goes back to these topping tail candles from the aftermarket yesterday. This 295, $3 area acting as a local area of resistance on RDZN. We'll keep eyes on that. Oh, I didn't give you the deets on it. How dare I? All right, the deets, $200 million market cap. I mentioned 74 million shares and change. Right now, the float is 35.7 million shares. Let's bring down trade ideas and shout out the NOS boss and his crew over there at, yeah, you guessed it, trade ideas. 0.11% of the float is shorted, so negligible. Keep an eye on that one. ZAP, ZAPP, breaking down as well below the volume weighted average price, which is hanging out at the $0.75. It's printing 60s right now. There is this area, though, from the aftermarket, from earlier trading today, at this 250, 260-ish area, which could halt this down move. So I'm cognizant of that. I'm keeping an eye on it. We'll see what we get. On ZAPP, up, UP, and not ups like my roommate in law school thought UPS was called. UP, this one, oh, joker, bro, I'll never forget that guy.
My first real spit take ever. I had, like, yeah, Sharif saw this. I had a sip of water, and we're talking about pronunciation of things, and Sharif's like, oh yeah, everyone's like, oh, did you see the up struck? And like, I had to go get all these napkins.
He had, yeah, I'll never forget that. He's like, yeah, we have this company in Canada. It's called UPS. I'm like, no,
That's the
bro.
way he said it last time.
Yeah, it's not called UPS, brother. It's called UPS. Anyway, shout out to him. He knows who he is. UP, 32%, Adair. Not a bad move. This one, though, light on volume. It's only done 5.5 million shares, and it's only $2. So it should have done a lot more. $3 HOD. VWAP hanging a skosh above that 2 3/4. Range per candle, though, a little wide given the overall move of this name on the day. I'm hesitant to trade it. I'm going to leave it up there to see if it becomes parabolic. This one, though, RDDT. This is a real stock. Obviously, it's not a small cap gapper. Reddit, decent move today. Volume weighted average price at 69, holding as support for now. Underline, for now. 70 break, got him 70 3/4. So I want to keep an eye on this one and see if we can play it. The volume, though, on Reddit really declining here. As you can see, we topped out at 1020. Since that time, lower highs on each successive volume bar. So I don't really like that because that opens up the spread, right? So we're going to keep our eye on that. I'm long Apple over here, and I didn't have a stop because I didn't put it in, and that's a mistake on my part.
Well, I have a positive little Tesla long I want to talk about. Before we talk about that, I want to take some time to thank our lovely sponsors at Benzinga Pro. Thank you guys so much here. Have you ever wondered how the pros find those winning trades right at the opening bell? Most of us are scrambling to find headlines, finding ourselves way behind the move. But that's where Benzinga Pro comes in. It's going to be the fastest way to trade the news with with exclusive alerts up to 30 minutes before other traders, real-time market insights, and a thriving community of over 6,000 traders sharing their strategies. And right now, you can try Benzinga Pro for the lowest price we offer during our July 4th sale. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description box and join Benzinga Pro today. I use Benzinga for sure as well, like when I'm doing the watch list. Shout out to that as well. So shout out to our pals there at Benzinga Pro. Thank you so much for your support. Also, okay, I want to talk about Tesla here. I took that Tesla long off 229. I'm really proud of this. I was willing to get into 229.50s. I was risking to like 227.80s because that was, again, an area that I just saw in the book. Sorry, not 228.80s, that's my bad. But anyways, so basically what happened was I was able to get what I wanted on this trade. Not everything I wanted 50s. When I saw that we couldn't get to 35s, I took everything out here. Tesla, I believe it was 229.20, so all good there. The Tesla uptrend is certainly continuing. Initially, we were resting at 228.20s. Now we're resting at 228.30s. Again, these are levels that you're more going to see in the book than on the chart. But what a bottoming tail candle here in Tesla. I'm still interested in scalping this. And if I see a scalp short opportunity, I'll take a scalp short opportunity. It was actually profitable in one of these shorts here. I just should not have gotten in and tried to short it again. That was a bit of an L. But as 21 Savage says, taking less L's, making more M's. That's what we're all trying to go for, right? But you can't make these M's unless you've taken the L's, unless you've learned from them. So that's just one thing I want to say. Also, another thing I want to say is I see you, IWM. I see you, Russell 2000. Giving me about 2,000 reasons to pull up this chart over here. Not actually 2,000, but maybe like one. But look at this. Whew.
Chair pushback.
Indeed it was.
Uno.
First one of the day. But seriously, look at this. We have this VWAP projection on a wick basis. We had it a couple times. But also, look, we're below the 90 MA. We're coming to this previous area here that we bounced off of earlier, 2150. I don't want to hop into this short, but I'm going to be very cognizant. I'm going to be watching and seeing if there's any opportunities here. I'm also looking at the Qs as well. So let's see what the Qs. I'm also very happy I didn't take that short because we just popped up on the IWM. How are you doing, though? I want to hear about yours.
I just absolutely murked it on Amazon. We just took 50 pennies like that, dip on VWAP, and then it just skyrocketed in 1 second there. I don't know what happened with the future there. 1124. What is going on there? That was really unusual, Adara. I just saw the future rocket up, Amazon rocket up, Meta rocket up. What is going on? Even AMD jumped like 60, 70 pennies. It's going. Holy cow. Okay, I don't know what happened. I'm going to keep my eye. I've got the news item, my news blotter there, but I don't see anything quite yet, guys. Well, as soon as we get it, we'll let you know. Yeah, just got out of Amazon right now on that move, and it's still going. So should have definitely held this one a little bit more. That was a nice spike there. I think this one is going to continue to go, though. A hammer candle off VWAP. Another 5-minute candle will make a new high now. So decent move here on the Zon. It's continuing to go off that VWAP dip at 197, and that, yeah, nice move here on AMZN. Meta did very similar things, so did Microsoft. You see these bottoming tail candles right there, hammer candles. They're both off VWAP for Meta and for Amazon, both of them. The Meta level was 502.80s, 197 for AMZN. Microsoft also had a bit of a very similar dip into VWAP right there, and a hammer candle, not as aggressive on the pop up. Relatively speaking, obviously, notionally it is, but nice move there for AMZN. Apple also had a bit of one, but, you know, Apple's kind of moving independently here. This is where I got stopped out of AAPL, and it just rocketed up back into 75s, but still lower highs and lower lows right now on AAPL. So that 220 and a third double top on the 5-minute. This candle and that candle both double topping at 34 pennies. Each successive high since that has been lower than its predecessor. VWAP on AAPL just a skosh below 218.50, more like in the low 40s there. So we're going to keep an eye on both of these, or all these names, obviously, because they're all very much trending to the high side. The future hanging out near highs. 131 is the high on the NQ September contract. We're printing 123 right now. So less than 10 points off high there. The Cybertruck is kind of putting in this rounded bottom. I don't want to call it a bottom because it's not a bottom, but you know what I mean, because this kind of rounding shape here, and it looks to be generally off the 10 exponential. You do have breaches of the 10 exponential, but then what is most telling about this are, you know, this is, if you want to call this candle here at 11 o'clock, the middle part of this sort of semicircle, each successive candle after that, for the exception of this one, makes a higher high. So Tesla looking possibly here to go right back above that 230 level. It's only about like 30 pennies away from it at the moment. 231.15 is HOD, so it's not like 230 hasn't been breached, but it is a $10 level. And on the second attempt, it could be a bit more tricky. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be standing in front of the Cybertruck today. 10% almost, 9.5% TSLA. And, you know, this is kind of funny, because we were talking about the good side of the headline on Tesla yesterday, on the bad side. And the good side was very clearly this, you know, some people call him a little bit of a maverick. Dan Ives, man. Dan Ives said that Tesla would have a surprise beat, and they absolutely did. So shout out to my man Danny Ives and all his clothing over there, because he's clearly got the magic touch. I don't know, man. The dude knows what he's doing. Almog, look left on Amazon for the last high on the left with strong red candle. Might be an interesting level if it breaks higher and possibly retest for entry. Almog, tell me, are you looking at the 5 or are you looking at the 1? Because right here we got the 5 up. Are you talking about this candle right here, Almog? The one that dipped down from 197 and a third into that 192 and a quarter. Look at Amazon recover off that VWAP touch. It looks like a general market recovery here, but devoid of any Apple participation, looks like at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, Apple's not cooking with the rest of its pals. It got left out of the recipe. But next time. Also, I want to talk about Nvidia here. I got out of the short, which actually would have been clearly the better play, because basically, at first, Nvidia was below the 90 MA. We were protecting off VWAP. I was like, perfect. Take that short, risk it into 122, which happens to be VWAP. Confluence. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so right. So I was risking into VWAP, getting it at the 90 MA. Got it involved at 121.88. I was okay with that, right? We get the rejection, but then I noticed we're making higher lows on the book. The second I got 85s, I got out. I know, really small position, right? But then I was like, Adara, if you're seeing resistance supports flips, if you're seeing instead of below the 90 MA, now we're bouncing off the 90 MA, you owe it to yourself to try the long. I did. Didn't work out. It's all good there. So a lot of my issues is I'll have an idea on a position and then I try, you know, to play it another way and it's not the vibe. But then, you know, like the day is still really young. We still have 2.5 hours for me to trade and make some trades. So you know what? I'm not going to be crying over spilt shares over here. We're going to find some new opportunities. Nvidia could get a little bit rangy here. It looks like you've got about 30 pennies. So this is those are 30 pennies I want to be aware of that I might be playing around here. If we want to keep bouncing off 60s, like, hey, Nvidia, I'm qualmless.
Holy.
You know what? You know what? I'm going to get involved 75s. I'm going to risk into 68s. And then we're going to, yeah, I'm not going to get that fill, but it's okay. We're going to wait and see. I'm also still interested in the Cybertruck. But as Sharif said, this is not a Cybertruck you want to step in front of. You will get run over, and you will get, it will be pretty violent. And you will not be able,
being run over by
I pictured that as I was
stainless
saying
steel car.
It's like a fridge. It's like if a fridge like gets thrown at you and a truck drives over you, and that truck is a fridge. I don't know. You're dead like you die
says,
40 times.
If you're already dead, it doesn't matter, says Neil. That's pretty bleak, but it's factually accurate. Factually accurate, but you know. Yeah, Almog, sorry, can I
yeah,
please want to answer Almog. Almog, on the 1 minute, sir, your trade ideas chart noticed it right when you took profit on VWAP, a beautiful bounce for a quick scalp on the 1 minute. Let's have a look at the 1 minute here for Almog. So his initial comment was, there it is. Look left on Amazon for the last high on the left with a strong red candle. Okay, so here it is. This is Apple. Okay, back over here. Yeah, right over here, Almog. I mean, look, this was a V-shaped retracement. We were yelling about how Amazon broke through that 197.25 earlier, which was yesterday's closing print. It had rejected off it the IB high, and then it took it. And then it rejected it again. It just dropped down like a Christmas tree retracement, right back down. And what I looked for here was the fact that it broke through yesterday's closing print, and it was looking to bounce off VWAP. That's the only reason I got into it, and I actually missed the exact VWAP level. Because I ended up getting in at 11s rather than 197 on the dot. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, though, but I'm not looking at it from one specific candle, Almog. I was looking at it from the breach of the yesterday closing print, the V-shaped retracement down right into the volume-weighted average price, and then the bounce off VWAP. Meta just went green on the day. Meta is at high a day as we speak. Sorry to digress, but Meta is making big boy moves now, up a fifth of a percent. Coming into that 506 level, it had breached the earlier high there at 1040 at 505.38. Now it's almost at 506, 505.87. Meta really going here. Meta also had that very similar move down for whatever reason into VWAP, and then that liquidity grab to the long side, you know, just shot it up off VWAP. There goes 506 now. It is 506.01 HOD. And yeah, you're getting a nice recovery today on Meta, which hadn't really been participating in the move. It had been more about Apple and Tesla for now, but Goggles also participating here, and now Amazon looking to participate as well. I'm long Apple for the breach of the previous high, the previous high of the break of the candle's previous high. So now let's see, we're long at 78s. So now let's set up some beak wetters there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching Tesla. I know I'm short biased. I've been very open about my short bias. I am a little bit of a bear. It's all good. Rawr. This bear does not go into hibernation, even when this bear arguably should, because the climate is getting a little chilly for the bears, maybe in Tesla. But no, weird analogies aside, I should have taken that Tesla 229 failure. I didn't. I was like, you know, but a scared trader is an efficient trader, so you have to be confident. And you also have to vote once the confident, because I want to let that play out. Please vote for the tickers of your choice, guys. You have 2 hours and 20 minutes left to do it. Go in the chat, right? 2 hours and 17 minutes if you're specific. Go in the chat right now. Exclamation point, join. This is going to be shift, exclamation point, or shift one, sorry. Join, space, $sign. This could be shift 4. Amazon, Apple, Google, Tesla, anything like there. Put that in the chat right now, and we will be able to look at it with Obi Confidence and Neilage there. Neil applying his knowledge. Sharif will be up there gesticulating wildly and talking on the green screen. And also, shout out to Ari Page here. I never use MACD, but hit the like button anyway. Shout out to you, Ari Page. I just love the sentiment and the energy of that message. I don't know why. And yeah, shout out to you. Hope you were having a great day, everyone. Yeah, I'm in Nvidia. I'm short Nvidia, the 90 MA. Sorry, the VWAP projection. I should have taken that long pop out here. I think that range is clearly still valid. I was not quick enough in the pulse of the range, but I was like, Adara, if you want to play the range long, play the range short. Try to play the range short here. Risking here into this 122.10s. That's going to be the area, basically, this previous high. If we make a higher high, obviously, I have to say bye, bye, bye. I'm not going to be in sync with NVDA anymore, so we're not going to be able to be in it at that level. Thank you there, I think probably
Patty loved that.
But yeah, shout out to BPI. Basically what I want to do is I find I trade my best when I have my little style where I'm like in, out, like leaving little pieces, getting more pieces. That's what I'm trying to do in Nvidia. Going to be taking out 2/3 of the position at 121.81s. Then I'll be adding if we get back to VWAP and reject. That'll be the plan there for Nvidia. Tesla. Whoa, okay. Tesla, you're below the 90 MA in a way that I find deeply appetizing. Oh my gosh, Tesla, it's like that, you know, they're like, oh, you can't go to the dance with him. Like, you know, I saw him behind the bleachers with that other girl. I don't know. That's like me with Tesla right now. I'm like, I really shouldn't. All my friends are telling me I shouldn't. Everyone's like, oh, it's gonna break your heart. But you know what? That's what part of being young is. I don't know, this analogy got really away from me. But I like, I'm going to wait here. I want to see another kind of retest. But yo, Tesla, if you want to stay below that 229, I'll risk you to 229. I'll take you off this 90 MA rejection. I apologize for the speed at which I'm speaking, but wow, these markets have me deeply excited over here. Although Nvidia has me deeply upset. Nvidia pushing out. I'm going to be getting out of Nvidia. What are you looking at right now?
I'm long Amazon at 48. So we're trying to go for 75s. It's another 10-period exponential dip. That's what I'm looking for over here. It's going to have to hold up at these levels. I've got my out already through the break of 45, so we're going to risk very little. I needed to hold on to the 10 exponential. I trade off support and resistance using technical indicators, and if it doesn't give me that, I'm not going to look to get in willy-nilly, right? So it's going to have to hold the 10 exponential. If it doesn't, then I don't have the right idea. Right, I set up my beak weather 475s, which is lower than the previous high there to de-risk a little bit because waiting for a new high to come in, yeah, you can get a little bit in trouble. 197.92 is kind of that high there. I'm looking at 75, so we'll just let that one work because the stop is already in place. Nvidia, though, is back into the F50 exponential on the 5, and we were talking about this area being that level on Nvidia for an interesting short. Now, I'm going to have to really watch this because it's not just the 50 exponential, but there's a general area of resistance here for whatever reason at 122.25. You had multiple rejections off that 1045, then again at 1050, and another time at 55. And you guessed it, 1105 came in and it rejected again. There it goes. It breached into 122 mid-30s. It did breach the 50. Let's see if it can hold up above the 50 on a closing basis. If it does, what's my look? Well, 122.50, also an interesting area. It was the pre-market consolidation bottom, and then at 8 a.m. as well, it held up at that level. So 122.50 really could be the play here rather than 122.25. I'm unsure, to be quite honest with you. So I'm going to pack my patience. Okay, so where do we get up to? All right, we're at 63s here. On the Zon 65s. I'm still waiting at 75s, though, on AMZ. And I'm just going to pack my patience. I don't want to take it out here. That's not the right thing to do. So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That's fine. So, yeah, I'm looking possibly here 122.50. Get it, Adara. 122.50. I like this level possibly here on NVDA. What's your look?
Yeah, I just took 80 pennies with a third of my Tesla trade there. Took the rest out, 50 pennies in the money. That was 2/3. So I want to talk about this. I got the short 229s. I also want to shout out here, who's this in the chat? Caputi Electronic Music Producer. I appreciate what you're saying here. I am trying to work on my short bias, but I find that when I take long trades, that's when I feel like I struggle more, oddly enough, because it's not what's natural to my brain. Now, I want to work, of course, on being able to play both directions, and sometimes I'll scalp in and out, but I appreciate you saying that. I do want to be less biased in that regard. I feel like, though, sometimes you miss opportunities trying to go outside of what your natural brain is as well, right? Like if I try to find a long where there's a short, then sometimes you get like all chip-chopped, right? So, no, I appreciate what you're trying to say. It's something I definitely want to think about. And it's definitely, I think, a lot of food for thought there. But right now, we don't need food in Tesla. We just need that Cybertruck charge fuel. What happened here was I took that 229 short. I watched this pop back above that 229.20s was an area I liked as a resistance support for Tesla. When we failed that, I said, dare take your 229 long or short there. Got out half of it at 55s. Why? Because we bounced off 228.50s last time. I said, I want 0% of that smoke, but actually I will keep a piece of the dream. kept a piece for the dream. That dream died at 228.20. Why did it die at 228.20? 228.20 was a massive area of support and resistance. I was playing that earlier, so I decided, you know, Dara, if that worked earlier, it's an area that you definitely owe yourself to get out of the position by. You know, Tesla, if you're gonna keep rejecting here, if you're gonna make lower highs in the book, I really do think I owe it to myself to get back in this year's Cybertruck. We're gonna take, that was a pretty small position last time, but slightly larger than some of the earlier positions I took on this guy. If we stay here, I am cognizant of the fact this was a little bit of a doji, so I wanna be watching what I do here. But I mean, honestly, if all I do here today is scalp Tesla off levels, I think I will have died a happy man. I think I will have ended this session a happy person. So that's what I'm looking at there. Tesla did get a little bit of a pushback for those profit takers, but right now we're gonna take a smaller position. We're gonna get involved at 69s because as Sharif sometimes says, what's life without whimsy?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still long AMZN. It's not giving me what I want. We're in the money, but I don't like what I see. I gotta tell you the truth. So I'm trying to pack my patience on this one, but I don't know. The other trade that I've got set up, I'm looking to short Nvidia here at 122.50. I'm worried about that. I am not short yet because the future is just pumping high of day. Like 20,156. I don't want to stand in front of the monster at these levels, man. But yeah, we're gonna put it out. We're gonna put it out, and we'll see what comes. I already put the stop in place, so I won't get punched in the face like that Apple trade without a stop. So Amazon just came into the 60s. I didn't obviously take anything out because we're waiting at 75s, and right back down it goes. So if I get triggered at 45 for an out, that's it. We're getting out at 45s. I could have taken out some money, but yeah, all right. Okay, well, please don't put stuff like that in the chat. We're not gonna read that out. I'm not giving you an acknowledgement. Simple as that.
There we go.
Okay. Nvidia is still waiting for this one to come in. It looks like it's finding some resistance right here at 122.40. So we'll keep an eye on that. So I didn't get, oh no, I did get stopped out of my position on Amazon. And right back up it goes. So I feel like I don't got a good read today on these markets. I'm getting a little bit chopped up on my trade. So I'm gonna pump the brakes here and stop being so frugal with the stop placement because I feel like I have the right ideas, but I'm getting a little bit chopped up. So it's moving up right back into the 60s. So I'm gonna try to take everything a little bit easy here. Oh, Google, didn't even notice. This one was at high day, 183.98. Is this all-time high? Did it break 184 before? Hold on, let's find out over here. Sorry, yeah, sorry, what am I saying? We got into that 187 back on the 28th. Okay, yeah, sometimes you forget, but Google having itself a decent day today, up about 0.5%, so not bad. Coming into pivot point resistance level 1 at 183.90. It broke through that on a decent basis up into that 183.98. So not yet at the half dollar, or sorry, at the whole dollar. Looking at Apple, I mean, clearly I had the right idea, poor execution here. Tried to get long this multiple times off the 10 to get back into that 220. There is 220. There goes 220 again. We know 220.34 is the high of the day, but obviously we're going to expect a little zig and a little zag. It's a $10 level. We rejected off initially 220 after that worldwide developer conference. And right now, we're fighting a little bit between the Bulls and the Bears right now at that level. So we'll see what we get, and we will not get upset because Amazon is going into my level. And no. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough trade there. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Tesla. I know, shocker, plot twist. I am, in fact, looking at that Cybertruck. Yeah, Obi was saying earlier, the most beautiful thing in the market, I'm paraphrasing slightly, it was this Tesla chart. I do not disagree. So that's why I added to the position. I want to be honest, this was an ad that was not super easy for me because I am the type of individual that is like, oh, Adara, don't, whatever. But that's why I hit my P&L. Also, yeah, oh, Adara, don't, whatever, is I guess not the quote of the year. But the point I was trying to make is it was like, if you really like something, you owe it to yourself to add. I'm like 229.20, that's the area I'm watching for. We haven't gotten back up there. So what the heck am I doing getting all wiffle-waffly? Took out half the position there at 50s. I am seeing higher lows. I want to be very cognizant of that on Tesla. So you know what, Tesla, if you want me to get the rest out here at 60s, I mean, do you know how many qualms I have? Hint, no qualms. Not even any qualms. I'd rather take some profit than get chopped up in that Cybertruck. Did not like how quickly we bounced. So you know what? Tesla, we're gonna try for 66s here. That is a very specific level. But my lucky number is 11. I know sometimes you'll use like these profit takers and beak wetters and on the cent level off of your lucky numbers. My birthday is January 1st, so 1-1. 11 is my lucky number, so we're gonna be trying to get that. Thank you for the little pause there, Sharif. And I want to applaud your Amazon trade. Those 50 pennies came and went so quickly. Amazon doesn't often move like that, but you got expedited profit there on AMZN. So I was really pleased as punch for you for that gorgeous bounce. I'm out of Tesla, so gotta say I'm pretty happy with that trade as well. Still seeing higher lows, so I'm not gonna get back on that short, but you have to trust yourself sometimes. I know I say that a lot, but I think it's one thing that's really important. Absolutely. I do want to support, I want to shout out everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being awesome. Almog saying, hit the like, people, wake up. But yeah, so don't necessarily need to do that, but appreciate the support there. Rob V was asking about an Apple long. I definitely am not the Apple whisperer. Sharif was cooking that apple cider here earlier today.
Well, I was getting cut up too. So
cut up like the apple? Apple peeled? Sorry, I'm just gonna make fun of you getting cut up. I apologize.
There you go.
But yeah, Robbie V, we do see that lower high here at 220. Sharif was very astute in saying that 220 could be a little bit of a sticking point on Apple. It is an area that we're dancing around, but we're seeing higher lows, bouncing a bit off the 90 MA, so that'll be an area to watch out for here. Interesting look. But yeah, Tesla, there's still definitely some scalp opportunities. I just wasn't feeling comfortable in the scalp short at that point, so happy I got out. But I see your Nvidia short looks really tasty right now. Your Nvidia short idea.
Yeah, it didn't come in though, so it came pretty close, but didn't get triggered, and so we missed the level, so that's all right. We'll take that one off because it's no longer valid. If it comes back up there, we'll have to reassess because when I put it out, I liked it at the time. I'm also looking at Meta, a bit of a topping tail coming in on Meta, 507.66. I don't want to say topping tail, that's inaccurate, but a couple of candles where it definitely sellers were pushing that bad boy down and it's coming down now, so it looks like I missed that one as well. Yeah. So a bit of a tougher day. It's all good. We'll keep watching Meta here. I like Meta possibly for a bounce, though, as a long, not a short, at that 505 area because, well, we definitely had resistance there earlier on. Keep in mind that that was kind of yesterday's closing print, that 504.70. So generally, 505, mid 504s. If we come back into that area, let's look for a long to see exactly where we are in the future, too, because if the future is bouncing up at that time, definitely it will entice me to get back into, or to get into Meta as a long. Yeah, I think Adira was quite accurate in saying, we're going to get a little bit of tests between buyers and selling, a little tug of war battle going on over here at 220. We just made another move above 220, maybe into like low 10s, and then another, dip back down. That whole dollar level goes Apple. I'm expecting a lot of consolidation around here. So unless we get a decided break to the high side or a breakdown, I'm just going to stay clear on Apple because I know that it's going to churn at these at this area. So I'm leaving that one be. Keeping an eye on I'm still keeping an eye on Amazon as it comes right back into that $0.75 area where we want to wet our beak. Decent move, definitely not the prime mover on the day today, AMZN, but healthy respect for the 10 exponential on the 5 right now is Amazon. After that VWAP dip, you can see all these prints here, really respected VWAP. This is what pushed me out, though, this one up here. So, yeah, all good. We're keeping an eye on that. Softy, very sideways here. Interesting look on the soft one, 456. Finding some support over here. Softy was rangy yesterday too at times, wasn't it? No, that was a different day. But 456 seems to be an area of support on Softy. You had defended earlier on at 1020 and 1025. Then again, when it dipped down near VWAP at 1120, that is the candle that prompted me to get into Amazon and then bounced higher. You can see the very similar look here on Softy, but instead of going higher in a V-shaped retracement or recovery, it ended up moving sideways, which is making me look at this 457, 456 range here on MSFT. There are outliers like these two over here and these two over here, but for the most part, it's 457, 456, rinse and repeat. Yeah, so that's my look. Nothing doing at the moment. Let's look at these small cap gappers, see what they're up to. Yeah, so it looks like Zap, still breaking down here, making lower highs and lower lows. RDZN still playing with that range, that 270, 275, still acting as a decent area of support. It did break above the volume weighted average price, got into that 310 area and then quadunked again. So yeah, this kind of giving you the idea that, you know, basing the trade off VWAP may not be a good idea. Reddit, though, breaking down below VWAP for the first time on the day, or at least it may end up being that way in about 30 seconds if this candle closes red, because you'll see all the breaks below VWAP earlier on were all wicks, and then we recovered quite quickly. But now Reddit really coming down below the volume weighted average price into that 68 3/4 after double topping at 70. HOD though on Reddit 70 3/4 or thereabouts. So keep an eye on Reddit. I know Reddit's not a small cap gapper, but I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Guma is moving here, 1.71. A decent look on GME. I would tell you, though, AMC, the bigger winner on the day. It's above $5, which we know has been an interesting resistance area for AMC, as well as over 5%. So let's remove Donald John Trump over here and put AMC. And we're just going to keep it out for the side in case, you know, things get interesting on it. AMC's volume on the day is about 14.5 million shares. So, yeah, nothing doing crazy volume at the moment. Nice double bottom there at VWAP. It did hold this interesting area of support for whatever reason. We topped out at 518. You have breaches of VWAP, but the wicks all hold up at that 518 level. And now we're doing the dance at 530, 534 HOD. Oh, wow. Here we're about 2 pennies off high a day right now on AMC as we come into that 532. So I'm going to keep these guys up on the side chart, and we'll see what is doing there.
Can we talk about the way you said Gumma for like 2 seconds? Gumma. I was like, I want to approach all of my life with a joie de vivre, which Sharif just said. Gumma. I want to be that energetic. I want to be that excited. Yeah, seriously, shout out. I'm always so happy to be here on this here desk with a mustachioed man to my right. Who, by the way, you cannot vote for his mustache as a ticker, but you can vote for whatever tickers you would like to see. Go right there. I love having the stream deck set up, by the way. I want to shout out Fabian Ravine because I just get to press things. But yeah, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers you fancy. Go in that chat right this second. You guys know what to do. We've talked about it enough times. You go in that chat right there and you get involved. And that is how, you know, we believe in a democratic system here at Trader TV Live. And part of English, part of democracy includes voting. So you got to do that there. Shout out, guys. Please, yeah, vote for the tickers you fancy. Also, Tesla. Tried to take that short here again. I was like, oh, we're going to break below the 228. I was like, Adara, 228.50 for whatever reason is holding. You like ranges? Play it as a range. We had these high, I don't know why I said it like that. We had these higher lows. I basically decided, keep playing that 228 70s, 229 30s area. We're breaking higher, but you know what? If I keep seeing bounces here off 229s, I will continue to take long scalps, emphasis on scalp. I have zero interest in overstaying my welcome in the Cybertruck. It can be, you know, as Sharif said, would you want to get run over by a car that is like a fridge? Oof. No, you would not. Nope. But I'm also not sure if I'd want to be, you know, like driving in one too long if it goes off rails either. So that's why I'd rather scalp.
No.
Weird analogy aside, there we go. That's the TSLA.
But I wouldn't mind being in the Cybertruck if I was to fall off a side of the road or something, as opposed to being in maybe like a smaller compact car.
You're right. So maybe this is better than the Model Y. You're right. Maybe the Model Y is better for my analogy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think the Model Y. Well, all those cars are super heavy too because they have the big battery. And they all have super low center of gravities, which is kind of why EVs are safer. All right, I set up a dip trade here on META for that 505.5 defend. That is where kind of that peak area, or sorry, the IB high goes. Well, it's not the IB high because it printed at 1040, but that 505.37 crest is what I'm looking at over here. The 10 exponential is at 505.60. So if it holds off that general area, I do want to get a nice dip trade there off it. So we'll see what we get. On METF, set that up. The Nvidia trade still hasn't come in to my level, even though I removed it. I'm very much keeping my eye on Nvidia. I am cognizant, though, of even though that this is an area of resistance at 122.50, that these higher lows are in play. Okay, so it's not just a range; it's an ascending wedge, and you know, ascending wedge generally are bullish patterns, but you know, they don't always manifest that way. So I'm very, you know, cognizant of the fact that this could turn out to be a breakout trade through that 122.50. So I'm gonna have to keep a tight stop there, keeping an eye on NVDA, no question. Here we go, Meta coming in, 506.08. I'm sitting there at 505.50. And if you know Spreada, you know that it can make its way down 50 pennies in like that. So waiting around this area here to get filled, we'll see what we get.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
No worries. No, yeah, I'm done.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure. But yeah, hopefully you get what you have set out for on Spreada. I'm going to stop now. But yeah, they're good Zuck as always. Good Zuck, best of Zuck in your trades. Shout out to the Zuckerberg himself. Also, okay, okay. So Tesla basically, I wanted this. The plan was to get. What, you're not gonna let me own on Tesla? The plan was to get the long there. I thought we were gonna break above those 229s. Then basically I realized I had an order setting there at 229.44s. I realized I was like, we're making lower highs in the book area. You don't want this. As I tried to get out, it got filled. I was like, we got to that 229 area. I got out, so did lose about 44 pennies there. I was looking for a minimum 230 break, so I'm okay with the risk to reward, but a little bit upset. I was like, Adair, you should have been a little bit more patient. I don't want to short this yet because now we're holding 229s decently. We're still in a bit of an uptrend. Ike Anderson was saying a while ago in the chat, like, looks like Tesla's curling higher. I don't disagree with that. So if I see another higher low here in the book, and by the way, what I'm looking for is last time we bounced off 70s. If we don't bounce off 70s here, then that's when I would maybe consider a short, at least, again, on a scalp basis. But look here, now we're trying to bounce off 80s, so this is going to be something I'm watching. I want to see what we do in the book. This candle looks a bit nasty, I'm going to be honest, but if we can close here higher, if we can still be bouncing off the 9 EMA, I have no qualms about getting long here again. And it looks like, maybe my point of entry is bad, but I still think the long thesis could be a vibe. I just want to see us break back above that 229, hold our 228.90. I know I'm very needy, right? I got a couple things I want Tesla to do before I can get involved here. But it's all good. The party's over for Nvidia, says Angelo. Oh, Tesla would have been a short there. Yeah, Nvidia bouncing, I don't know if you're meaning like on a longer term here, but yeah, Nvidia right now, actually, I would say higher highs, higher lows here a little bit. We're bouncing off VWAP quite nicely, but we do have these topping tail candles, and Sharif definitely called that interesting area here around 122.20s. Let's take a look at the daily chart to see what we see on the day for NVDA. Yeah, I mean, sorry, because I know the split makes it a little bit difficult. Yeah, it's been a little bit of wild and woolly here for Nvidia, but we've certainly been holding up decently around these 120s. We'll get below, but we'll hold this 120, 122 area pretty well. Brendan was mentioning this is a big desk as well, that 123 has been an area of interest here for Nvidia. But man, Nvidia breaking below that 122. I was interested in long off VWAP potentially, but Sharif definitely called those topping tail candles. Now I think I see a short in these here hills for NVDA.
Oh yeah, it's protecting, yeah.
Tesla, how are you doing? Oh, okay, I missed the short in Tesla here. But Tesla, if you want to come back to that 228.70s, 228.50s area, I like it. If you want to reject, I will take you short. As I said, qualmless, zero qualms. I'm still seeing lower highs in the book, even from when I first pulled this up. We were getting to 228.20s. Now we're getting to 228.10s, now 228.10s. So I want to be keeping an eye on this here. Let's see, Tesla, either we bounce to 228 or we reject La. And yeah, I am aware of the fact that I have a short bias, but I think sometimes when I try to flip long, that's when things go awry as well. So just trying to be finding opportunities that make sense, no matter what direction they come in. How are you doing?
Yeah, very close to getting filled here on Meta as it did come into my level. So that low printed 505.61, I'm waiting at 55s. So it's not like I was trying to avoid it or anything. There you go, 63s showing up on the tape. Yeah, it's bouncing though. So, and last time I chased Meta, I wasn't happy. So I don't want to chase it again. It's going to have to trigger my resting order for me to weasel in at this level. I like this level because it is an area crest. It is also the 10 exponential after a big move up. And okay, there we go. How are we partially filled? Seriously? All right, so yeah, I know. Anyway, so we're going to put up a beak wetter. Where are we at here? So we got filled at 55s. So let's put up a beak wetter at set 75. We'll get it. We'll put that there. It's already showing 79s, but it's going to have to cross. So yeah, you guys know how Meta is. This is kind of the way it acts. So keeping my patience with Meta. 61s on the bid, 79s on the ask. I have my out through the break of 505. So we're going to have to risk a little bit over here to profit on this trade. So we're going to. I'm in it at the moment, still partially filled though, still didn't get the full fill, so I'll keep my eyes there. Apple is coming into the 20 exponential as well. So Apple really retracing here, and I think this is the first time on the day that it's actually touched the 20 exponential. This candle got pretty close, this candle at 1120. Obviously the IB high, or the first couple of candles at 930 and 935 all go through the 20, but it hasn't touched the 20 since that time. So here we go. It just touched the 20. The 20 is hanging out at 219.24. So we'll see if Apple bounces off this level. Very interesting here for AAPL. Now we got the full fill on Meta, and my stop is already in place, so it's going to have to bounce here. Otherwise, we're going to take another L, and it's already coming down into 505, and there it is. So we just got stopped out of Meta again. Bit of a tougher day for me today. Don't feel like I have the right read on it, but we're going to keep trying to see what we can get it there.
I love that. I'm the same way. Like, I feel the same. I don't have the best read on everything. I know I keep getting involved in Tesla, but it's like if I see stuff I like, I would rather try at something that's, like I said, a bit more challenging for me than to go with something I'm more comfortable with. I did get out of that Tesla short because we got below the 228s nicely, but we couldn't really hold below 228s. Now it's breaking lower, so it's all good there. I was risking to like that 228 kind of 20 area, ended up getting 20 pennies, so I'm okay with that. Let's see though, Tesla. Let's see if you bounce, because I know Tesla at the 227 was really spicy. The 227.40 is interesting here on the chart for me. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm interested in playing this either direction. I'm just more comfortable playing the short. Also, Nikola, some people asking about, so let's see what's going on here. We just looked at Tesla, now let's look at Nikola. Shout out to Nikola Tesla. Wow, Nikola, great look here. They delivered, you know how last quarter they delivered a whole 30 trucks?
Yeah.
They delivered 72 trucks this quarter.
Oh my God.
Above the estimates of 60 trucks. So a whole 12 more trucks.
Making gains there, Darren.
Yeah, sorry, we're not trying to be mean to Nikola there. We're not trying to piccola on Nikola. But there, yeah, so interesting look here. Definitely, I like this area here at 730. Look at that bounce. And it's interesting, it looks like it wanted to flat bottom break, didn't it? We have a lower high. We get to the 740s below VWAP, and then Nikola's like, what do you mean? Its hydrogen truck got charged to the upside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 5-minute green candles. That is right, more than an hour of straight upside for NKLA on the 5-minute chart, to which I go, arr? But yeah, seriously, shout out to anybody in this long. This is a great look. Nvidia here, coming back to the bottom of that previous range. I was interested in a little bit around that 70s area. Hey, Nvidia, you want to be a short here? I will indeed be interested in a short here, but you know, you get at what you get at, and you don't get upset, especially in meta. But yeah, seriously, shout out to Sharif in that meta there. Tesla, I said I wanted 227.38, so look where we broke below. That's right, Tesla. I want to see we do 227s. But if you give me short, sorry, my eyes are like a kid in Christmas morning. This is such a fun day to trade. And that's why I'm trying to focus less on P&L. Like, it's like, I'd rather be doing the progress and learning that I get through being involved in the trades. Tesla did bounce a little bit at 227s. I see you, Tesla. But if you want to make lower highs, which you're kind of making now, then I would be interested. Clearly, I gave up that first short early, but you know what? It's all good. You got to do what you got to do. You got to try things. And I do stand by that. Tesla coming back here, but continuing to reject at 227.30s, 227.40s, that area. That'll be where I'm looking for a short, but if we want to keep bouncing off 227s, I'm fully able to pivot long. I would like to see what the Cybertruck is saying to me, and maybe it's saying beep, beep, maybe it's saying vroom, vroom, maybe it's saying it, needs to be charged. But either way, we're going to find out through reading this book.
Sounds good. Yeah, didn't really get into anything quite yet. Keeping my eye on Apple here at the 20 exponential. Holding for now. The future did break down, though, below its own 20 exponential, trying to hold at that 20,075. I don't want to trade for the sake of trading if my methods are not working. So I typically get retracements off the, the 10 or the 20, or I'm looking for key areas of support and resistance. If that isn't working on the day, I don't want to keep employing it to a negative effect. So I'm going to either, have to take it easy on the trades, or just completely look at something different. Because right now, it ain't working for me today. I got to tell you that. So right now, keeping an eye on AAPL at this level, looking to see if it bounces off the 20. The other level that I'm looking at for Apple is VWAP, which is right now 218.50. So that, still about 80 pennies south of that area there. So not coming in too quick. I'm seeing a whole lot of breakdown here on Meta. I'm seeing it on Softy. I'm seeing it on Amazon and Google as well. Weakness in those names, not so much in Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple at these particular levels. But yeah, they were already Nvidia was already a little bit weak. I'm still keeping an eye on Apple here. It's making incrementally lower lows. It was defending the quarter dollar earlier. Now, not really. So, yeah, I don't think that this is the right move for me to get in willy-nilly at the 20 exponential when it really hasn't proven that it was going to bounce off that level quite yet. Holding the quarter dollar, but for how long? So We want to see exactly what we get there. What are you guys looking at in the chat? Let me know if there are any small cap gappers that I may be missing here. I see SYT showing up on my scanner, so it behooves me to look at that. Let's bring in the side chart here and remove, oh, Reddit found support at the 50. We'll remove ZAP and put SYT. What is this? Sila Technologies, no idea what this is. Let's load up a quick look. Sila Technologies, $75 million market cap. It's got umpteen amount of rejections at $3. What is going on here? Look at this chart, guys. I mean, look at this, just rejecting once, twice, and even OB thrice off that $3 area. And that was earlier on at $9.50 and has been the case on every subsequent attempt to breach 3. So this is super interesting what's happening over here. I'll have to look at the book to see what kind of sizeage there is sitting at 3, but just looking at the chart, I can already tell you that there is it's rejecting over and over and over again. So we'll keep an eye on that. GME did a topping tail candle into 2409, now back down to 2387. So that's interesting. A lot of action happening there. What else we got? What else we got? Yeah, not much doing over here. Not much doing. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, so I was looking, and here's the issue. Do you want to shout out, I think it was Caputi Electronic Music saying, like, you know, because I am more short biased. I'm really upfront about that. You know, always be aware of bias, try to change that. So I think the issue is, too, is when I see longs, I don't trust them, which is part of the issue. I thought that 227.40s was a short, and the second I got into it, I was like, we're holding this now, get out. And I was like, well, I have no reason to get out. I ended up having to get out. I don't know, I was sounding like through my teeth there. But I think the real short here for Tesla is going to be off the 9 EMA. That is the area with which I should be playing around here. We are seeing, and again, if there's longs, like, I'll take them. I will fully admit I should have taken that long 227.40 instead of the short. I was literally talking about it as support too. It's like, Adira, come on, man. But that's the whole point. Like, you know, I am an optimist. You know, I'm down in the day, but I'm always up on positivity.
Bang.
We are bullish positivity here in this circle, along with our pal Trenda. I'm just gonna make Trenda an optimist with us too, because why not? So shout out there. It's not like she can say otherwise. Yeah. There we go. And she's green. She's physically green. So I'm gonna say she's up on the day. Me talking to the turtle notwithstanding, I still have eyes and stuff. Tesla 228 interest. Sometimes you just gotta talk to turtles.
Yeah, why not?
Sometimes the trades are, you know, they're doing what you do. But the thing is here, I'm taking really small positions every time. But I'd rather take small positions and lose a little bit and learn than, you know what I mean? Like I do stand by that. Happy I didn't take that Nvidia short though, because that would not have been indeed the vibe. We are still bouncing off 121.70. It looks like the long was certainly still in season there. But also in season, it looks like apples are in season there for Sharif. AAPL, I mean, you're in the Apple trade. AAPL is interesting here too.
Yeah, I'm trying for a 20-period retracement, but I'm going to give it super tight room, which has kind of been my Achilles heel, because I've been giving things too tight of room and then getting stopped out.
It's hard.
Yeah, so it's my fault, obviously. I mean, nobody's putting in this stop except me. Right, so we're gonna.
Could be.
Can I blame Trenda? I mean, like I feel bad. Adira blaming
right? Yeah, I know, we're putting
stuffed
this on...
animal. You know,
yeah.
Like it's a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking for a move up, you guys, off the 20. That's the whole point of why I got into this trade. I'm keeping an eye on the future as well. We're a skosh below 20,100. We're trading in that 20,900 for a little while now. We did have this kind of doji bottoming tail candle come in, but the subsequent candle over here really hasn't made a new high and didn't really breach 20,100 again. So I don't want to rely too much on anything I see on the future to trade AAPL, especially because it's kind of doing its own thing. So it looks right now like it's accumulating for a breakdown here. I've given it a tight stop. If we move up above 30, great. We'll look to profit off that 20 exponential. But right now, not showing me what I want to see, quite frankly. I'm not seeing anything from a long perspective on the Mag 7 names. Everything looks like it's primed to set up for a short, whether it's the futures or whether it's Nvidia rejecting umpteen amount of times off the 50 exponential. So it looks like I did have that idea right, and this was the outlying move, this 122.50, and the 50 exponential has featured yet again. You had 1145 to basically 1205 right now, all rejecting off the 20 exponential. We'll see if that ends up maintaining, or that trend is maintained once we get back from Neil's lesson of the day.
Welcome. The lesson of the day today is the no-fly zone. And what do I mean by that? I don't necessarily mean, you know, coming into the paint And whether it's like Mutombo or like, I don't know, Rudy Gobert, I guess it's a good shot blocker, and you don't want to test him, you just got to find another place to go, or throwing a pitch to Ohtani over the middle. Probably not a good idea unless you like seeing home runs. No, when it comes to trading, the no-fly zone, in a sense, is what is that one thing that you don't want to lose on? What is that one place you don't want to get burned? You know, don't touch a hot stove. Don't stand in front of a moving freight train. Now, you're gonna every now and then you're gonna have a trade which is counter trend. There's no question about that. But what exactly is the setup or the idea behind, hey, I'm not gonna lose on this today? And where are some obvious places? Now, clearly, I think anybody watching today knows that this is going to describe Tesla. And I always attempt to look at the lesson of the day as something that came up or was learned in the moment here on a Stock Live. I think Tesla exemplifies the no-fly zone. So first things first, you have to have a very good reason for why you think this is standing out. And you had delivery numbers today. The expectation is that they were going to have a drop in deliveries. You had a lot of people saying that. You did have a few analysts that were pretty bullish on it, but that was not the bulk. This was a surprise move here on Tesla. And the first hint, let me go to a 3-minute chart so you can see the first hint that this was going to be a no-fly zone for mean reversion or short or anything like that was simply the activity when the number was announced. The volatility was absurd. The stock was trading at 206. It popped to $215, $9 move to the upside. Rinsed all the way back in, broke the lows, only to go right back into the highs. This is all in a matter of minutes. If I put this on a 1-minute chart, you can probably see it a little bit better if it's even going to load now. There you go. On a 1 minute, you'll see this initial wick. That is real. Up here, 215, back to the bottom, regains a higher low, then it just starts screaming. It actually dips at 213, pulls back into 211, and then there isn't even a red candle on a 1-minute chart till you get to 906. So you have about 5 or 6 minutes of just pure chaos before it even puts in a red candle. So right then and there, you've got an over-the-top, outsized move. I think you know you want to respect it here. There's no question about it. And if it had been to the downside, you could obviously say, yeah, we're going to stay away from going into the long when it's that weak. But once it is that strong, you know there is going to be the potential to break your back. Now, you would have heard me say in the live show, if I lose today going long on Tesla, so be it. I think that's the important thing. The other part of the confluence for this is, okay, so yeah, you know there's going to be ridiculous volume. Yeah, you know there's an event. And you know there's a ridiculous amount of volatility that just stepped in. So all of that, well and good. But what's the other part of the equation? When you zoom it out, is there anything significant happening in terms of breaking backs? Oh, we've already broken out multiple levels on the daily, breaking the 206, breaking yesterday's highs. You don't really have any clear resistance until you got to that 220 and then the trend high at the 227. So you've got like a way to go before you have anything that would give you, any confidence, I would say, in short levels, resistance levels, things of that nature. Everything about this was just a jailbreak to the upside. So I'm not saying you would never look for a shorting opportunity in here until it really calms down. But during the midst of that melee, and by the open, it did a pullback. So obviously it's going to, in the pre-market, you have different levels of liquidity. It did a pullback, not even thinking shorts then. You're just looking for those longs. It's even consolidating as we speak. It just cannot seem to hold. You cannot seem to hold this stock down at this point. But it's not the only thing out there when it comes to wanting a no-fly zone, or like, what's that one thing I'm not going to touch? What's that one thing I'm not going to get burned on? I'm going to give another sort of example here, and I'm going to look at advanced micro devices. AMD did not have news like Tesla, did not have any particular catalyst. To be honest, on the daily chart, there was nothing about it that even suggested that you had this kind of a move incoming. And you can see how ridiculous the move was. I mean, if anything, the stock was super weak yesterday. You look at this 15-minute, and you would have heard me wax poetic about 163 short and 166 short and all that good stuff. And as weak as it was yesterday, on a 15-minute, it was just hammer, hammer, hammer to the upside. The other aspect of saying there's a no-fly zone is not, I'm never going to go short it. In Tesla, maybe that was the answer. I'm not shorting the stock. In fact, for me, at least it was the answer. But with something like an AMD, when it doesn't make any sense, why is it going up? I don't know. It's breaking out when it was weak. I don't know what's going on. So it gets ridiculous parabolic strength. Sometimes the no-fly zone is wait till it gets somewhere that makes sense to you and then take the trade. Now, I was waiting for 163. I could have seen an argument that somebody would have liked the 161, this previous support. So a no-fly zone can simply be, well, as it's going up, I'm not taking the first available short. I'm not taking a 58 level. I'm not taking 59 because it's a round number. I'm not taking 160 because it's a round number. Stock is ridiculously strong. I can't think of any reason behind it or catalyst. It's defying all expectations or logic. Well, then wait till something very, very significant to take a shot at the stock. You don't always have to be in the trade at the exact moment or in it and fearful of missing the perfect price. Be willing to miss the trade to make the trade, especially when you're going counter trend. Trust me when I tell you. A counter trend trader should always be willing to miss the trade. Because if you're joining the trend, you can get a little more aggressive. I think we've talked about this endlessly. But if you're going against the grain in the stock, then it behooves you to be very patient and very discerning and very confident in those levels. Otherwise, you're going to get chopped up. And there's nothing wrong with taking multiple shots if you have to. I'd rather take 5 paper cuts and then the 6th trade works and I'm fine. That's all well and good. But ideally, you only take the 1 trade and you're willing to miss out. So obviously I didn't get an AMD short, we were waiting for 163, but the no-fly zone was simply that entirety of the gap that didn't make any sense to me. So we stay away from it. It's an absolute runner. The other side of it is that key price of 156, and we mentioned this before, that key 156 price held like an absolute dime. So I think technically in hindsight, that could have been the reason for that strength, but we didn't think of that at the time. It just ended up being a complete no-fly zone. There were times when Nvidia would be the no-fly zone to the upside. It's not really doing any of that today. I think it's a normal trading stock. But if you can't figure out that Tesla on a day like today is a day you might want to hold back, make sure you have some more reasonable trading, range-bound trading, chop up, all this stuff before you think about short, because 230 doesn't look all that bad. After it's calmed down, you can at least make some reasonable trades. You can't do that at the open when it's going nuts. AMD, when it's going absolutely parabolic, you just can't do that. You've got to sell, you got to take a step back, understand that that is not the direction, find places to join the trend. There's nothing wrong with it. I would argue that, something like an Apple, if you're completely determined, I am going to short tops, Apple at the 220 level. This would be an idea that if you were looking to short a level, I was in an Apple long, but if you're looking to short a level, why look at Tesla? Apple had that all-time high at 220. It's a much more controlled trade. It didn't have a ridiculous catalyst. It gives you something to work with here on Apple. So there's always somewhere else to look. If you want a mean reversion, then take your shots, but make sure that you stay away from these obvious no-fly zones. Apple, there were plenty of short the pop situations off the open. Yeah, you're probably losing if you're fighting the trend, but there's lots of places you could have actually made money going short on the way up, and the 220 ends up holding almost all the way into VWAP. So understand when you have heightened volatility, something like Tesla, it's obvious sometimes from the start, and you just need to get out of its way and look somewhere else. And other times, if it flat out makes no sense, I'm just throwing AMD out there because that's the one that didn't make any sense to me this morning, then wait for a significant level, an obvious level where things will make sense again. And if it doesn't get there, so what? Be willing to miss the trade to make the trade. It's an important thing. There has to be a no-fly zone. There have to be stocks that you're like, I'm not losing on this today. I'm not going to let Shohei Ohtani beat me by throwing a fastball. We'll put him on first base if we have to. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, your goal is not to pad your ego, it's to actually make money trading. Keep that in mind. If you catch the top on Tesla today, you're going to feel like an absolute giant. No question about it. You hit that home run, the mean reversion could be sick. But it doesn't matter if 9 times out of 10 when you do it, you shut yourself down. So just don't do it. Understand the no-fly zone. Make sure you have reasonable loss limits and have a good reason for getting into a trade, and make sure you have a way to get out of the trade at all times. So So understand the no-fly zones. Have them, don't have them, it's up to you, but that's your lesson of the day. A couple of very obvious ones here with AMD and Tesla early.
Thank you very much, Neil, dropping hot lines on his lesson of the day. Catch that every day around that noon hour with Neil Roberts. Lesson of the day. Thank you very much. All right, while he was dropping said hot lines, we did, I don't want to say a recovery on anything, but we did get a couple of green candles on some of these Mag 7 names. Really all of them included except Nvidia, Meta defended 504. You got another bounce off VWAP on Amazon at 197. Apple, at least for the moment, trying to stay above 219. Softy not doing much. Goggles, a nice little bounce there off the 20 exponential, and same thing with TSLA. But you have a very interesting level on Tesla that you were pointing out to me, Adara.
Yeah, it's hyper specific, and I think it's holding. I tried to play it wrong, but I'm going to keep my eye on it, and it's 227.40. Why do I like 227.40? I will explain. I saw it in the book as well on TSLA. Also want to shout out Neil's lesson about no-fly zones.
Okay.
Arguably, Tesla should absolutely be put on the no-fly list. I think Tesla, we should not let it pass the airport of the Adara Airlines. Instead of Ameritrade, Adara. Oh. Okay, accidental pun, but not the point. The point is, I clearly have gotten a little bit chopped up in this, but I think the reason I'm sticking with it, and maybe you could argue this is stubbornness, and I think that's something I want to keep in mind with Neil's lesson. But I think my thing is, like I said, if there's certain stocks I feel more comfortable trading. Oddly enough, Tesla is one of them, and if I have levels I like, and I do, I want to make sure I'm honoring my attempts to try that. I'm taking really small size, and you know what, I obviously don't want to get shut down. It did get shut down yesterday, and a lot of that has to do with this old beast here, this Cybertruck. But a lot of that has to do with me. And I'm not going to learn if my reaction is to run away scared, at least for myself, right? This is my own take. And again, I feel very lucky to be in a prop floor. That's something I want to acknowledge as well. But my 227.40 area, to kind of go back to what I was saying here, because I went on a tangent of my own making. Look at this 227 area we top and turned around and broke out. 227.40. Come again, bounce. 227.40. Then we get super spicy. This is why I tried to take this short here at 227.40 or around there, was because, look, we had these lower highs here in the wicks. I was like, Adara, build into the position. If we break, I don't know why I said it like that. If we break above the 90 MA, then you get out of the short. You're fine. You're all good. We did break above the 90 MA, so I had to get out. But the way I was thinking of it is at some point the support must break. It's like, no, Adara, sometimes support is just support, and you need to play it as support. So if we come back to that area, I'll try to play it as support. What I'm seeing now, though, is this really interesting hold of 228.40, so about $1 from that previous support area. If this keeps holding, I tried to play this as a long, and then, of course, the second I got involved, we broke below, so I got out. But I'm still interested in this. I can't tell if we're trying to range breakout here, the 228.40 to 228.60, or if we're just going to be keeping and chopping and churning, and there's some resistance at 228.60. Either way, my eyes are on this. You can call, I was going to say you can call it stubbornness. I would call it stubbornness. I am being stubborn, but it's a stock. I want to learn, and I want to watch and wait and see what happens here. Also, I was just thinking short Apple, so I love that you were short that Apple.
Yeah.
And also vote for tickers, sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you for reminding me about that, Adara. The reason I got short was because this consolidation level right here, we broke down below it. We came into it. We had been rejecting it since, or defending it, sorry, 11:57 till we broke down at 12:10. So not a long period of time. I'm going to give this one a little bit more room. Could have wet my beak for 10 pennies, but that really wasn't the move. I'm looking for a rejection of the level. So keeping my eye on this one. Kind of a double bottom off that general 218.76 area, or 218.75. What am I saying? Quarter of a dollar. $0.75. We did double bottom off there, but we're coming right back up again, man. I just don't have a read, guys. I do not have a read on the markets today. It's not typically that way for me. I usually have a general idea. Well, maybe I do, because now it's coming back down again. Hey, okay, come down, Apple. But not too much because of the personal account, Yeah, it's all
balance.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping an eye on Meta as well. There's also Amazon. For whatever reason now, we're establishing yet another range on Amazon. The outlying range obviously is VWAP. We got very interesting candles coming off the volume weighted average price, but it seems to be the closing print yesterday. 197 general area, 197.20, I mean general area, and then just this 198 area, but usually a little bit below it, 197.90s. Or thereabouts. So, yeah, I'm grasping at straws, I feel like, here on these Mag 7 names to find something. But Apple coming back down now. into 219. So we're about 20 pennies in the money here. And then we're looking for a little bit more, quite frankly. I'd like a VWAP touch, and I might be a little bit ambitious thinking that it's going to hit 218.58, but I don't know. I think that that's reasonable. It should make a VWAP touch at some point in the day. Here comes 219. Now we're breaking down below 219. There it is. I haven't even wet my beak yet. So we're going to take a little bit out here. We'll see if we can get triggered. There we go. We get triggered there for a nice little beak wetter, for a nice 25 penny winner. We're going to wait for a little bit more, though. Ideally, I'd like that 218.56. That's where VWAP is hanging out. Probably cover a little bit above that level because, you know, it may not make it. In fact, actually, I think I'm going to cover the rest at around 75s because we have a double bottom there, and, you know, it's kind of presumptuous of me to think that I'm so good, I'm going to be able to call the double bottom when it breaks, especially the way I'm trading today, which is not very good. So I'm going to cover the rest at, we'll go 79 to front run that 75 area. We'll see what we get. So that's the look there on Apple. So finally I get a winning trade, which is, took a long time, to be quite honest with you, and I'm down on the day, that goes without saying. Again, this range on Amazon, though, is really catching my attention. This 197, mid-80s to 90s, okay, generally. You guys see where the wicks are hanging out. And then, you know, the majority of the time, you're going to bounce off that 197.20 because that's a closing print. But when you do get a little bit more aggressive to the downside, it is finding support at VWAP. And if not VWAP, then definitely that 197 level. This candle did breach VWAP, but it has exactly a 197 low. So I know that there's a buyer on the other side of that. AAPL still doing the dance with no pants, just a couple of pennies south of 219. Definitely not giving me that 79 print that I am seeking. 504 was a defensible level here on META. Double bottom at 504. In fact, I was waiting for another candle, the candle subsequent to the green one, to make a new high and finish green, but that's not what it's doing. It's, in fact, it's staying below that 504 2/3, 504 3/4 general area, which is the closing print from yesterday, still staying south of that, even though it did take it by some distance, over $3. It took it 507.66 HOD. So I thought it would use that level as a defense, as support to bounce off it. It's not. So, you know, again, my read on the market ain't so good today because my predictability on what Meta may or may not do, it is not coming into fruition. But maybe it does. If we get a curl back up above 505, I will want the smoke. I will, because this is the area that I'm looking to defend, even though it did breach the $500 name. So maybe I'm being a little bit too picky here with where I want the area to bounce off. So if we curl back up above 505, start touching that 505 1/4, I'm going to get long Meta.
I like that. Yeah, and I want to echo, I mean, to second your most what you said about having a read in the market, I totally feel that. I feel like my brain is in like little La La Land, shout out to that movie. But also, I think the thing is, there are some levels that I have. Like, I knew that 228.40 was going to be level. I'm like, girl, why was it short? It was clearly support. Do you know what I mean? And same with that other level, my 227.40. It's like, I think, at least on Tesla, I cannot speak for the rest of this market because I've mostly been looking at Tesla. But I think my levels are okay. It's just like, why am I not playing them correctly? And that goes for longs as well. There are some longs I've tried to take and the timing doesn't work out and they should have been short. So it's like, I'm aware my short bias is playing a pretty big role here. Yeah, we tried another short here. We were breaking below. Then it turns out that was actually bottoming tail candle. So it was all good. I got out, happy with how I managed the trade, trying to be very careful, very persnickety about the trades we take going forward.
Okay.
I don't know, persnickety.
I like that. You've never used that on this.
I haven't either.
Before. So it prompts this. Oh, boom. There we go. Word of the day. Write it down, baby. Persnickety.
Persnickety. Yeah, so I'm trying to be a little more like finicky, have my nose up, a little more snooty about the trades I'm taking.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe, you know, I'm feeling a little bit like Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For feels like you're all in your emotions, but it's like, no, you can't be when you're trading. Sometimes your read is not great. Sometimes your read is good and you're playing it wrong, but it's like, it's about if you stick with it, if you stay with it. I'm gonna keep looking at these markets. Am I being a bit stubborn with Tesla? Yes, without a doubt. I'm a Capricorn and my cap energy, the horns are coming out here, that's for sure. So yeah, I'm trying to be really cognizant of that, but there's just not a lot I'm seeing that I'm really fascinated by beyond these levels on Tesla. And it's like, Adair, if you can get the levels, now you just need to play them correctly. AMD with these lower highs here though, we're bouncing off VWAP. We have these these kind of wicks. We're below this 90 MA. I have stuff I need to look at. I have stuff I need to be cognizant of. But also be cognizant of the fact that you only have an hour and 20 minutes left to vote. Go in the chat right now and you go dollar exclamation point join space $AMD amped. Microsoft, GME by the way, like at 24. Microsoft, SPY, IWM, you guys know what tickers you like. Go in the chat, vote for those, and then we'll know what tickers you guys want.
Did you want me to do the Benzinga thing, Fabian? Because you put it in the chat. Okay, all right, no worries. All right, so let's back to trading here. Apple right back into my entry again at 22s. So look, this is an area top. No worries. This is an area top, so I don't want to be quick to get it out of here. So I've put my stop, I've relocated my stop to the break of 30 now because I'm looking for this area to defend. Let me zoom in a little bit, tell you guys what I'm looking at. So this was an obvious area of consolidation. We broke down below the area, so I'm waiting, or I'm looking for us to reject this area, this general area at 219.25. At least for now, it is rejecting, coming back down, but we'll have to wait and see how long that hangs out for. I didn't get printed at 79s, as you can see there. It didn't make its way down into that level. I don't want to get pushed out of a good trade. That's the thing. So that's why I did relocate my stop to jive with that area consolidation. So we'll see what we get there. Meta is back above 505 though. So the dead one's curling back down, but the Zuck train perhaps on a different tune. And I do want to exact revenge on Meta. Yes, and I did say revenge, not avenge. But no, I'm kidding, of course. So I'm looking for, let's see, remember we were talking about that 505 take. Clearly right now it's doing the dance with 505. We know 505 has been a resistance level on the day owing to this initial rejection here at 1040 with a topping tail candle through 505, but the closing print most importantly south of 505. So now if we get curling and start stair-stepping up above 505 on a closing basis where I see 5-minute candles closing up there, I'm going to go long on META, but it's going to have to close at that level. Back to AAPL, down into 219 again. So we're now, again, 20 pennies in the money, but it looks like that 219, possibly, we're at 219 general area. It's consolidating at that area, and it has been since around 12:10. So the better part of 20 minutes right now. As you can see, they got that teal beak wetter hanging out at 79s. It's not coming in quite yet. Back to Meta, because on the side chart, I see this bad boy's curling. So now Meta at that 505.25. Chasing this makes me furious, but I have no choice because it's spready and I like the trade. So back above the 10 exponential here. What is the move, Sharif? Are we getting in here? And if you're getting in, where's the stop going? And how far are you chasing it? Look at it. It's going into the $0.25 now. Eek. And now it's at the $0.50. Making fun of me. Yeah, well, maybe I should be made fun of because I should have been in this. No. Come back down, Meta. Come back down into that $0.25. No, it's not going to come back down, which is fine because, well, we let this one go. Had the right idea. Poor execution again today. If it triggers at the $0.25, great, I'll take it. Otherwise, you know, I'm not going to chase it at 505.5. High a day, though, is 507.66. So you've got some room. You know, you've got a couple of bucks from where we are right now to break a high a day. So we'll see. Still not getting filled. Apple below 219 at 95s. Nothing doing there.
Nvidia popped up here. Little VWAP bounce here. Look at this 122 pop. We're getting close to 123. So great candle here for N to the V to the D to the A. The Qs getting quite the pop up here as well. Q and A. Why are they doing this? We don't know. But a nice pop here for those Qs. Oh, Qs. I see Q.
Uh-oh.
Look at that 430.
You remember ICQ from the other day?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I was just making little puns, but you're right.
No, I told her about ICQ. She didn't know about it. She usually knows about everything that I asked her about, but
you did tell me about that. Yeah, so this is an interesting level here. Look at this support that we had here. Also check out the Freedom and Wealth podcast every Saturday.
Bang.
Look at that support. We had 483.30s, right? Then we come again and we bounce off the 90 MA. I know, shockingly, I'm actually not going to say I want to go short. I'd be interested in taking the Qs long. Oh. You know, because look at this bounce. Now, to be clear, as Sharif always says, and I totally agree with, chart patterns on the futures or, similar products are not always going to be the vibe, right? You want to be very cognizant of that. However, I have confluence.
Bang.
Because look at support. Trying to come into support again on the 90 MA. I mean, don't do this to me, Qs. Don't TQ this to me. So we're gonna risk into 60s. We're gonna try to get involved here at, hold 60, let's do 68s. We're gonna risk, like I said, risking a cool under 10 pennies. I would love to make at least into 75, 90s here. That is something I can live with. And you know what? We are going to, I could have been a slightly larger position, but my read on the market has been suboptimal. It's like I have my contacts out, and for reference, I have like -6 vision, so I cannot read with my contacts out. That's what it feels like me trying to read these markets right now. So I want to be cognizant of that, have a smaller position size. Also, I forgot to mention this, I took like 35 pennies on this Tesla long here. I got long 229s. Again, trying to sometimes when I want to go short, be like, Adara, what would the long say? And in this case, I sound like What Does the Fox Say, if anyone remembers that song. But the long in this case said, try to do this. Ahmed Amwala, 70.99 super chat saying, yes, Adair, just short TQQs. I like the long right now. I see what you mean, though. I think if we get below the 90 MAs, get decisively below the support, that would be where I'd be interested in shorting. But given the fact that we came to this area that could have formed as a resistance and continued to push higher with that bounce on the 90 MA, I currently like it as a long. But as always, we hope you print on this here show. Right now, though, I like my TQs long, couple pennies here in the money. I mean, more or less flat on it, depending on the second, things change. But SPY also getting, like it's, yeah, as I say that, it looks like you were probably right there about the TQ short there. Ahmed Amwala, shout out to you. We're getting to 60s. But SPY also getting interesting here. Again, chart patterns don't always matter here in these futures. But the SPY, those futures looking kind of grim here. We're below the 90 MA. This could be a short the pops. Right now, though, I might have to deal with my TQs as you do with the TQs. But also worth noting, you know, always, I'm just trying to be more confident every single day. I was looking for an excuse to press that button, not even gonna lie. I love this button. Right now we're bouncing off 75, 60s. Let's see us continue to bounce. This is the level I like. If we don't bounce, I'll leave. I'll bounce out.
All right, we're gonna start the lesson in a minute. I just wanna see how this meta trade resolves. I did finally get filled at a little bit less than $0.25. Where are we printing? We're printing 29, so nothing obviously to write home about. The break of 504.88 is gonna push me out, so I'm putting it a little bit below that, that whole dollar level. Hopefully that gives it a bit more room. They're printing 31s. Let's see where my Beekwetter set up at the $0.50. So we'll see what we get there. Still in this Apple short though, looking for this consolidation area, which is trading below the 20 exponential on AAPL to break down. And we've been putting in lower highs, okay? So that's why I haven't been quick to want to get out of this trade when it's presented me the opportunity when it comes into that high, the high end of the range. So because it's continuing lower highs, and so that to me spells like a good trade. Yes, Meta, you punk. You know, we get a little bit there on META. So I'm going to look for a little bit more. We got printed at 52s. Happy about that. We're long at 24s. Obviously, it's nothing to write home about, but it is successively higher highs and higher lows on the 5-minute chart. So I want to see if we can squeeze at least to maybe test those high-a-day prints. But Meta, you know, being the beast that it is, it may make you wait just a little bit. So packing my patience right now on Meta, but did de-risk a little bit there. Back to AAPL. It's doing absolutely nothing, still at 219. But I got to tell you, I may get out of this trade because I'm seeing bottoming tail candles here on AAPL. And somebody was asking me earlier, like, why are you short? I mean, it looks like a consolidation area. Well, the reason I'm short is because of the successively lower highs. And then we obviously started doing this 219 and a third, 219 and a quarter rejection area. And so I was like, okay, there's clearly a seller in and around there. Let's see if we can work off that seller and print a little bit. And that's what I've been doing. But now I'm noticing these higher lows on each successive 5-minute candle. And then more recently, these bottoming tail candles start coming in, which telling you that there's an exuberant buyer in and around that 219 area. And if that is it, I don't want to face off against an exuberant buyer there. That's not what I want.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right?
As you should. Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So I probably will end the Apple trade soon. The one that I have a little bit more hope for is META to continue to curl up, but we're gonna have to see. There seems to be a bit of a seller at that $0.50, 505.5. We're not getting a print through there. So I think I'm just going to leave everything be for now just adjust my stops on a couple of them. If I can send it to you for a second while I replace my stops, Adara.
Yeah, I am trying to, I guess, double my future, and I say that because I am long SPY and the TQs. Is this a decision that we'll regret? Find out after the commercial break. No, I'm joking. All jokes aside, I stand by both of these for now. Again, trying to be less looking at the charts when let's look at the charts when I trade the futures. However, I like this, but I initially was like, I'll short the SPY. But this bottoming tail candle came in. I said, Adara, obviously, you don't want to put too much stock into one candle, as Sharif says, and I think that's like one of the best puns in the world as well. So shout out to that. But I do want to, you can get sometimes a sense of a stock based on one candle, and one candle's just one part of a very large stock. But I'm going to stop making puns now and keep talking about this trade. Basically flat, slightly in the money on the TQs, basically flat on the SPY. Why the SPY, you may ask? I like this 580 hold. I'd love to see us break into 546s. Not sure if we will. I'm risking into 70, so it looks like I might actually have to be getting out here. This 545, yeah, there we go. The Qs did not want me, so the SPY did not want me. Qs, I'm still in. Qs, we are risking here into, where was I risking the Qs? Qs, I was risking into 60s, so Qs actually holding up better here for me right now. Better comparatively, right? Still not like great, but again, not that I want to entirely rely on the chart, but what I'm seeing here in the chart is a nice little look for my Qs here. The future not looking too bad right now. Pretty bright. Let's see how we go here. Ike Anderson, join WW80. What would Adara do? Maybe don't. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, Adara would aggressively short Tesla for no reason, so maybe don't join that. But all jokes aside, definitely vote for the ticker that you want to see Sharif, Neil, and Obi cover on the big desk there. Now, maybe that ticker is GME, maybe the ticker is Nvidia. You guys know what tickers you like. Whatever tickers your fancy, go in the chat. Get involved and get busy with it. I guess jiggy with it. But yeah, get involved either way. Also GME, because that was definitely what we want to talk about. GME 24 has me deeply intrigued. I love this. It's something here. We do have these higher highs, higher lows. We're below the 90 MA. Am I interested in taking a GME short on that alone? No. I have, my reads have not been the best of things today, so I want to be cognizant of that. But I am watching GME here. We had a plethora of topping tail candles, an abundance of topping tail candles getting here into 2405s. High of the day, 2418s. We can't even get to this 2420 over here. And then GME feels all of the smoke before it gets to 2420 and then has, pun very intended, and then tries to sell off. The 24 short, not a bad look for me. But again, this is not the type of thing that I currently have a lot of faith in. I'm trying to get some of that confidence back, feel better about my reads on things, keeping an eye on things. Also, I just remembered.
What happened?
If anyone saw that Powell thing here with Jay Powell this morning, it was very entertaining. At one point, Sarah Eisen, moderator from CNBC, was asking ECB President Lagarde, I was telling Sharif about this off camera, like, how do you think Taylor Swift will impact the European economy? She's like, like Fed Chair Powell you saw, which came to the US, right? Neither of them were amused. Honestly, I would have liked to call that panel Fed chairs. They're just like us because they too were annoyed for having to talk about Taylor Swift. They too do not want to talk about politics when that's not part of their agenda. I have to say I did feel some of the frustration there for those Fed chairs. To quote Sarah Eisen at the end of her thing there, I tried, but the Fed chairs were not having it. Yeah,
look,
it was entertaining.
All the reporters always try to get the Fed chairs to comment on politics, and they always try to, weasel out of it. I don't blame her. She's doing her job.
She's got to do what she got to do.
She's doing her job. She's got time to fill, and so shout out to her. She's a good reporter. I gotta give her credit there. What I was very interested to hear from was her trying to get them to comment on executive interference in their job.
Yes.
And she did that multiple times. She talked about the elections in France and how that could give her a different mandate there with a new government with different ideas coming in. She talked about the U.S. Presidential election and how, he had interactions with Trump in the past. I'm just trying to give you a bare bones summary over here, but I'm keeping my eye on META. Because we're at that $0.50 again on Meta, and every time we come into that 505.50, there seems to be this wall of selling, and it's not exactly 505.50. It is in and around the high 40s. As you can see right now, we've been at 48s, 49s, you know, sometimes 46s over here, and we're not getting that clear break. So packing my patience with this name. There seems to be a seller at this $0.50 area for whatever reason. And yeah, that's a bit of trouble. Now, I did get stopped out of this Apple position for break even on the rest because it did move up into 40s, but it's a topping tail candle and one hell of a bamboozling candle here on the 5-minute look. Look at this topping tail candle come in. Ironically enough, though, the higher low still holds. Even when you look at it, you know, super zoomed in, the higher low still intact, but the topping tail candle pushed me out of that short. So that's all good. Still profitable on that last trade, not profitable on the day, certainly, but on that last trade, we were able to eke out a little bit of profits to reduce from our poor trades. So now, keeping an eye on Amazon as well. Amazon's been shooting up at random times today. Funny, it did it over here at 11 o'clock. It just did it again at 12:40. You know, kind of on its own, not really moving with anything in the market. Amazon marching to the beat of its own drum here at 198.25. That is the high of day. That is not the pre-market high though. We did get higher in the pre, much higher in fact, 199. We tried to touch, I guess, maybe another attempt at 200 there, but 198.26, excuse me, HOD. We just printed that right now. No. 198.26. Yeah, we did print that right now. What was this one over here? 198.21. Okay, so we just did print the high day right now on AMZN. So we'll see what we get as that one continues to work its way up. Back to Meta over here, still printing in the 40s, still packing my patience, still no lower lows to, you know, tell me, Sharif, you know, the winds of change are coming on this one. The lower lows are not in. What is very obvious, though, is that flat top that's accumulating at that 50 penny area. The question is, do we break that flat top before I get pushed out of this trade? I mean, that's the only thing that's unresolved. Here come 48s again. I'm seeing 51 now on the ask, 37, though, on the bid. It's not crossing, obviously. Let's see if we get a big push up. So I want to start the lesson because we're really late for the lesson. So I put in my stop on Meta. I haven't put in my beak wetter, though, on Meta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an alert over here to tell me if we get into the 80s, and then I can make a decision as to whether or not I want to take this out because I'd rather let it run. So let's start the lesson of the day. We are talking about moving average, convergence, divergence, MACD for short. So welcome, traders. Today's lesson dives into MACD divergence, a powerful tool for identifying potential trend reversals in the market. So let's get right down to it. As we always do, we're going to define what this basic, or the basic terminology that we're going to talk about. What is MACD divergence? So imagine you're looking at a stock chart with the MACD indicator on the bottom of the chart there. Normally, the price movement and the MACD levels, they move in the same direction. They kind of in tandem. But sometimes divergence occurs, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Essentially, the divergence here means that the price and the MACD move in opposite directions, hinting at a possible trend change. And that's what we want to help exploit. Oh, go Meta. All right, here we go. We just printed 71s on the Zuck train, so I'm sorry I got to interrupt the lesson. I want to wet my beak, I think, at 506s, so let's go ahead and put 505.98s, and come what may. We'll see if we get that print or not. We're going to leave that.
Just punch for you.
Oh, thank you, dear. That's nice for you to say. So, yeah, let's get. So, that is what MACD divergence is. Now, there are different types of divergence. There are two main types that we're going to talk about today. There is the bullish divergence. Essentially, this occurs during a downtrend. So you got to be making lower lows and lower highs there. The price keeps making lower lows. The price action makes lower lows. However, the MACD line starts forming higher lows. This is suggesting to you a weakening downtrend and a potential for an upside move as it looks to curl back up. But there's also a bearish divergence, and essentially this is the opposite of the bullish. It occurs in an uptrend when you're making higher highs and higher lows. The price keeps making higher highs. However, the MACD starts making lower highs, right? So then you start seeing divergence between the crests on the price action and the crests on the MACD. This is suggesting to you a weakening uptrend and a potential for a downside move. So here's what it looks like on the chart. You have your MACD indicator on the bottom as illustrated by the histograms, and you have your price action at the top as illustrated by the Chinese candlesticks, or Japanese candlesticks, excuse me. So look, right over here, you get a trough made at around, say, like 106, and then you get a newer low. And in the area where you have those same troughs on the MACD, ironically, you get a higher low, right? So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the price action and the moving average convergence divergence diverging from how they're doing, right? And this is the opposite, the bearish divergence. The price makes a higher high. However, that same crest, those same crests on the MACD, they end up making lower highs. So the price action, MACD divergence, that's kind of what it looks like there on the chart. So understanding the divergence, what is divergence telling us? It doesn't guarantee you, obviously, a trend reversal, but it is suggesting to you a shift in momentum. Here's why it's important. Oh, baby, I just got the alert. Did I get triggered on the Zuck train? I don't think so, not yet, Adara, because we're printing 82s. I'm seeing 87s, 89s coming in. Let's go, Meta. Print me, baby. I'm waiting at the high 90s there, 88s, 90s showing up. Come on, come on. Fur, baby, fur. Yeah, I'm having a good time up here, can you tell?
Meta. Meta, you punk.
Yeah, we're just going to flatten out here, Adara, because we got to get back to the lesson. All right, so we get a little bit of a avenge trade there on Meta. So understanding the divergence, it's telling you that there's a shift in momentum coming. But here's why it's important. Firstly, it's telling you that there's a loss of momentum. So even if you don't continue or you don't tank off the price action, moving average, convergence, divergence, you could consolidate, right? So when the price goes up or goes down, but the MACD weakens, it's suggesting to you that the price might be losing steam. It doesn't necessarily have to reverse, but there is that potential, right? So the weakening momentum can also indicate to you that there is a potential reversal coming in. So those are the two things that it's telling you, right? It's telling you that you're losing momentum for the uptrend. So in that case, you could consolidate or you could reverse, right? You don't necessarily have to reverse, and that's why I want to point that out. Consolidation, absolutely a possibility in this case. And remember, guys, moving average, convergence, divergence, not set in stone. Just because you see MACD price action divergence doesn't mean anything in an absolute sense. It's a warning. It's not a guaranteed reversal. Look for confirmation using other technical analysis tools or price patterns before acting. And there's also the ever-present danger of false signals. Divergence can sometimes be misleading, but most notably, during those volatile markets, MACD can give you, those false triggers. But beyond the basics, guys, of the bullish divergence and the bearish divergence, there's other ways to use this as well from a divergence sense. There's the strength of the divergence, right? So the greater the difference between the price movement and the MACD and where those peaks and troughs are printing, the stronger the divergence signal could be. Here's what I mean by that. So let's bring in, let's bring in the previous images over here. So, for example, if the peaks if you want to measure, for example, this $12 area, right, into the top of the first crest, let's just say, that, what is that percentage-wise? You're really good at math. 12 to, say, 15. What percentage increase is 12
So
from
12
15?
to 15 is going to be about a 1.25% increase.
It's got to be more than that.
A 125% increase because it's 1.25. 12 to 15?
Yeah, it's not 125. 24 would be 100%, no? So whatever it is.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter, right? The point is, if you're moving from this percentage to that percentage, and then you measure that same move on the MACD and it's less percentage, then basically you're looking for strength divergence in that case. What's more strong? Is it the MACD divergence, the move from the MACD from trough to crest, or is it the price action move from trough to crest? So you should be looking at that to see the strength of the divergence. But there's also another one. There's also something called hidden divergence. Sorry, I'll get over here. There we go. Hidden divergence. Sometimes the price makes new highs or new lows, but the MACD doesn't quite reach those previous highs or previous lows. This also can be a sign of divergence, and I have a chart to show you guys that. So look, here on the price, you kind of make a bit of a higher low from trough number 1 to trough number 2. But look at the MACD. It doesn't really make a lower low, but it doesn't really make a higher low either, right? So your bullet, it's hidden. That's why they call it hidden divergence. Same thing goes for the downtrend. You have a downtrend on the price, so you're making these lower highs, but the MACD, it's not necessarily making higher highs, but they're coming into that same level. That could be bearish hidden divergence. So not the only way to use it, bullish divergence, bearish divergence, but there's also the strength of the divergence that you can use and the hidden divergence as well. So keep that in mind. And the final word on this bad boy, MACD divergence is a valuable tool for spotting those potential trend reversals as well as weakening trends, but understanding the difference between the different types of divergences and how to use it with caution, you can certainly improve your ability to identify potential trading opportunities. And remember, if you haven't used this indicator in the past and you're not too familiar with it, it doesn't hurt to use it in the sim, figure it out, how does it work with your trading style, and then use that real money on the line of dare.
Yeah, I like this what you said, like use it in your head, or like earlier, like figure out, you know, just look at it and see how it goes. Oh, meta.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah,
No regretta.
No regretta. It kept going.
Also, okay, so it was, I did the math and I was correct. It is 125% because it's 12 times 1.25 is 15. So 125%. I worded it very poorly because my brain was tired.
What I meant was percentage increase. So if you moved from 12%, $12 into $15, what percentage increase is that?
25%? Because 25%. Yeah. Because because 3 is 25% of 12.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
3 is 25% of 12.
That makes sense.
So that was what it was. I just couldn't articulate it very properly.
Bang.
But yeah, no, I love fractions. I'm a math nerd. But yeah, sorry guys, that was not English earlier. My brain is having a moment. It has been staring at Tesla. And maybe like, Adara, you've not taken any trades to stare at Tesla. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I'm just so fascinated by these moves, but I don't really have a read on much right now. Like I said, we're in our Billie Eilish, what was I made for vibes. Tesla, though, cannot get above 229.40. With that in mind, I'm intrigued by a short. I know we have these bottoming tail candles, but I also want to acknowledge the fact that I am short biased and that could be working against me. However, all the times that I've considered going short, other than the time I did briefly go short here at 228.80s, for my scalp purposes, those would have worked out. Because the other thing is, like, Adara, remember, you're a scalper. You don't, like, I was like, oh, like this earlier, I had this whole great conspiracy theory. I was like, oh, we'll have this awesome 227.40 breakout, and I'll add pieces out along the way. I'm like, why would you do that? This is not your style, Adara. You have to trust yourself. You have to do what you want here. So that's what I'm trying to do. Words, English. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. What's everyone else looking at? GME bouncing here, still bouncing off the 90 EMA. Did the game stop? Nah, it just pressed a pause. I didn't even press a pause button. We bounced gorgeously, beautifully here off this 23, almost 90s. Great look here. Look at this look here. Also ANVS, I'm seeing some people mention this. ANVS getting a nice little pop up here. Is there any news here in this ANVS? I think there must be.
Me one
I was seeing some stuff on this. But yeah, look at us bounce here off the 90 EMA. Also a view up, topping tail candle, low topping tail candle, topping tail candle. We could not get to 80/80s.
I was going to make a joke, but it's absolutely inappropriate, so I'm going to stay quiet about it. Stock is trending Tuesday. The company earlier announced new data from its phase 3 Parkinson's study. Got it, you love that. What happened? The study showed improvements to the Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale. I didn't know about that. Following treatment with Buntanetap, sure. The findings demonstrated that the placebo group experienced cognitive deterioration throughout the study, whereas the treatment group experienced no further deterioration. So it doesn't improve it, but it just stops the deterioration. I said that multiple times. I love hearing stuff like this. I mean, I can never want to go against anything like that. You just hope that it's a legitimate headline. Let's pull up the ticker, ANVS. It is up a big 60% on the day, and it doesn't trade on the NQ, Adara, nor does it trade on the AMA.
NY.
Yeah, and I can't. There we go. So the details on this, it's a $93 million market cap and the float is 8.3 million shares. Let's bring down trade ideas to find out if anybody was shorting this bad boy. ANVS is the ticker. Yes, 15.25% of the float is shorted. So we could move big boy here if we start triggering said shorts. And we're already moving pretty big boy because, well, quite frankly, we only started moving big boy very recently, to be honest, because the volume just started coming in here. So let's take off. Who are we going to take off here? Oh, wow. Everybody's doing decent today. So we're going to take off the ES because we rarely look at the ES. So sorry, ES. Big Spile Burdett's going to get upset. Big Spile is not going to like that. Yeah. It's all good. Let me add pre-market data here. There we go so we can get the full picture. Okay, so you can see the volume just started coming in at 11:55. So this headline has been out. Okay, so this headline has been out since 8 a.m. I'm looking to see why it just moved. Okay, so we did get price target upgrades on it. Maybe that's why. So, who is this? Rodman and Renshaw. Who are these
I've never
people?
even heard of them.
Neither have I. Well, anyway,
They're a small cap one.
Maybe.
Some of them I've noticed only like HC win rates always with the small cap.
Really?
Yeah. Good
call on that. $67 price target. That's a lofty premium from where we're trading. We're trading at 856, guys, or 848. So $67 price target by Rodman and Renshaw. Jeez. Yeah, so that is the look there. And they did they maintain it with a buy? What's the rating? Reiterating buy. So $67 price target and a buy. This is a great looker. We're gonna leave this one up on the trading screen here. But how do we get in? That's the problem. So the 10 exponential on the 5 right now is at about 7 2/3, a little bit below 7 2/3, and we're really getting extended off the 10 on the 5. And I don't like trading it when we get that extended away from the 10. It's gonna have to come down in a little bit, set up, and then I'll weasel my way in. This is the 5 minute. Let's look at the 1 minute now. Okay, so a healthy respect here for the 20 exponential on the 1. If I can't weasel my way on the 5, I should look for other opportunities. A bit of selling resistance here at 870, and there it goes, 890 HOD. This one's on its way to 9 right now. The volume is picking up. Don't forget, guys, 15+% of the float is shorted. Let's look at the daily and see where this one could have been trading at. Well, we know right away this is basically a former runner. You can just see that. And sorry for the pivots. Let me remove the pivots away from here so you guys get the full picture. There we go. You can tell right away it's a former runner. This is the pandemic top over here. We needn't concern ourselves with that $131 price target because everything and their mother's cousin was inflated during the pandemic. But what we know for certain is that since the pandemic, it's had these outlying days, right? Where it really does a big move, and then in the subsequent days, as you can see here, it gives it all back. It's done that multiple times. So be careful with this one. I get that, it's being rated now by an analyst or an agency, but it has a way of giving everything back. Great move, 930 HOD Adara. It's just how do we weasel our way into this trade, and I ain't punching in at highs, so.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way. That's a good strategy there. Hopefully, Anovis will let you join for Showvis.
Hey, okay.
It happened. Vote for stickers. Not stickers, tickers. If you want to see Anovis, ANVS, maybe you want to see GME. Maybe you want to see SPY. Maybe you want to see IWM. Maybe you want to see AMD or AMC. If you want to see either or both, you go in that chat right now. Exclamation point. Join. Space. $, whatever tickers your fancy. And there's a lot of tickers to fancy today. That is for sure.
You meant that on purpose, right? Tickles?
Instead of whatever. I've been doing this for a while now.
Have you?
Too.
I actually haven't heard it. Maybe because they sound so close.
Yeah.
And, a little bit.
Yeah, I like the stealth puns because I can. I don't know. I like puns.
Hold on. You like stealth puns?
I like the stealthier puns.
When did that come in? Because they're pretty overt.
A lot
pretty
of them.
tacit.
I love that word. Yeah, I mean, you could go for on the nose. My puns are right here. Let's put it that way. My puns are right here. But yeah, sometimes you want to be a little bit more sneaky with it. But you know what's not? Okay, I have this whole tendency to have less confidence, whatever you want to say, in the long. And I think that comes from maybe the fact that I am just a skosh bearish. Boom. But here's the thing. I feel like every time I try to go long, and maybe this is just confirmation bias getting with me too, it's just not the vibe. We tried to go long, your Tesla kept bouncing off 229s until I get in. No, I'm joking. But am I? No, we got into the like 90s. I got out, whatever. Today, the last 2 trading days have been rough. I'm not even gonna sit here and tell any lies. We definitely need some more coffee. We need some more caffeine, but we're always gonna stay positive because that's the whole point.
Bang.
I love in these situations where the market's like, Adara, rawr, trying to get in my face. You gotta punch it back out. I was shut down yesterday. And I'm right back here again, trying to take some trades. Are the trades great? No, some of them were profitable in Tesla, actually, and then we took a lot that weren't as well. But it's about sticking with the ideas, right? And trying the ideas, seeing what occurs. Now, right now, I'm just kind of watching, waiting, scheming, plotting, scheming, not getting money, but trying. Shout out to Furthest Thing by Drake there. Right now, we're the furthest thing for profitable in the day, but that means all we can do is get closer and keep going here. I am looking here at Tesla. We broke that 90 MA, we broke that 229 support we were holding pretty decently. Why, you might be like, Adair, why are you still watching Tesla? I'm being very stubborn here, I'm aware, but this is something I still have eyes on. The rest of this market that we got these great pops up, I clearly got on my TQs long too early. Holy cow, great look here. I got a little bit stubborn and got out, but clearly the market's continued to the upside. I did take some profit on it, a couple pennies there, but yeah, AMD, great look. AMD getting near 160s. IWM, slightly flat on the day here, getting to that 201.10s. Yeah, what? These markets are wild over here, Sharif.
I know.
What are you
can I point out the fact that Amazon and Meta are absolutely flying to the high side? If I can show the chart, Fabian. There we go, 507.91 on Meta. That's a new high a day right now at 92s. It's continuing to go. Same thing with Amazon. But one thing that I want to point out with Amazon is we have this topping till candle right at 8.35. It rejected off exactly 199. We're 5 pennies away from that 198.96. 4 pennies now, 3 pennies, well, 99. So, and now we just printed a new high a day, 199. It does break above that previous high, and then we come right back down into 90. So a little tug of war right now between buyers and sellers, but a great recovery for AMZN, double bottom off that 197 volume weighted average price, and there you go, $2 in the clear. It makes another attempt, getting close to making another attempt at 200, trying to trade above 199, but you can tell the sellers are stepping in here, at least on an intraday basis. 508.17 for Meta. I'm very upset, obviously, having cut this one far, far too early in the 506.80s. Now it's at 508.17. High a day broke above that 506 2/3 double top that it had put in at 11.35 and 11.40. A great look today for Meta, higher highs and higher lows, but that is after a big retracement there from 11.40 to the better, till about noon, till a little bit after that noon hour, and then it was really unabated to the high of day, 508.25 now. Look, Tesla and Apple are kind of very sideways at the moment, if you want to call it that, because, well, they had big outlying moves earlier. So it looks like as if we're getting more participation from some of these other names. Chief among them, Google. So it's really Google, Amazon, and Meta right now that are really heading to the high side. I know Softy is as well, but it's not a high day. Google just printed another new high day, 184.56. Fantastic move today for goggles, especially that the low was 181.56. They're at the IB low, kind of tried to defend that $50 50-penny level, initially off the open there, and now we're $3 above that same level. Softy made the point that this one was recovering as well since 12.10. Right now it's almost 110, 107 right now. Bit of a V-shaped retracement. There does seem to be, though, this wall of selling that we encounter at 457. We were talking about Softy being a bit of a range earlier between 456 and 457 with the outlying candles all going into that $0.50. That obviously all changed when we dipped down and held 455. On a closing basis, the wick did come into the $0.75. But I still would suggest to you that the 457 level would still be in play. So we broke down below 456. That has nothing to do with the sellers who are on the north side of 457. So 457 comes in and we don't have to wait that long. We're about 25 pennies, 30 pennies away from that level. I want to see what happens. 457, bit of a local area top today on Softy. The outlying candles do obviously break that, but the majority of the prints did reject 457. Meta is just rocketing up. Every time I look back at it, it's got a new higher day print, 508 in the third now. This thing is going, as well as the Zon. It's also hanging out above 199. We were talking about this one getting pushed back down by said sellers. A new higher day on the Zon. The Zon's really going here. The Zon could make another 200 attempt. We saw what happened last time. It did reject 200, but you just feel like it's only a matter of time. It's just all these Mag 7 names just keep pumping, and the market just keeps, you know, benefiting from that. You know, we talked about the breadth or the lack thereof, and it doesn't really matter if you're long the market or long the actual names. You don't really give a you-know-what about breadth. At least I don't at the moment. Maybe later when I have to. Anyway, 457 right now on MSFT. Let's keep an eye out on this level here. I'm not going to sit here with a resting order to take it short, but I definitely want to see how it interacts here between buyers and sellers. Definitely having trouble breaking through the whole dollar right now, though, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, I want to thank Jimmy Mo Ace. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. You're an ace. So is everyone here in this awesome chat. I'm saying Pat McAfee could cause a Fubo squeeze. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything.
What did he say?
He didn't say. The last thing I'm seeing he saw it was apparently 7 months ago, posted in the Fubo TV Reddit, which I don't know if like that's the most. I did do some research. I don't know if that's the most trustworthy source. But I know apparently.
He's pretty big time though, Pat McAfee.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware. Apparently, he, like you could watch his show on Fubo. I don't know, but right now here we're kind of bouncing off VWAP. I would like some more deets here on the Fubo. I want to see. I want more details on the channel guide there on Fubo. So I'm going to look at. Some deets here with regards
Olympics coverage that came in yesterday.
Oh,
but I didn't see anything about.
Yeah, there's not. The stock's not really moving here. It's up like almost 2%, I guess, on about 3 million shares of volume. But yeah, let's take a look at the daily chart here for Jimmy Mo Ace, because let's see if we can ace this Fubo. Yeah, it's not the pun of anyone's life. But let's take a look here. Got to switch to the NY because we're in New York. Where dreams are made of. I don't know. Yeah, Fubo, I don't know if dreams are going to be made of here at Fubo, unfortunately. We're coming into an area of support and then resistance previously here around 130. Like this, to me, this is interesting, right? We have this 30 area that we close at 130. We have this wick here into 120, come right back up here. A little bit of chop, a little bit of churn. As Sharif will sometimes say, a little bit of zig, a little bit of zag. Look again, though, this 130 area. We have a wick into it? No. No. My name is No, and my number is No, says Fubo. Shout out to Megan Trainer. Then we come back down here. We try to curl. We find a base here at 115, and now we're back into this 130 area. 130, definitely an odd area of resistance and support, at least for my money, from my opinion. Again, not advice, just my take on the chart. You know, you could look at this and say we are getting a bit out of the downtrend since we had that base here around that 113 area. We are having some higher highs here, bouncing off the 90 MA, but I would like to see us decisively clear that 130 on a closing basis. Then levels I might be interested in include the support we had at 149, and then this 158 area. Fubo, short float 18.22%, so I guess could get a little bit squeezy there. We're gonna have to wait and see. Also, one other name I want to look at, I saw someone mentioning Snowflake in the chat, so let's see if snow is flaky or if this is a nice smooth move. Yeah, so Obi had like a whole bunch of great snow puns yesterday. I'm not even gonna try to replicate that. That's someone who can deliver a pun more covertly than myself. I well, on the nose there. Much like a snowflake might land on your nose. But right now, Snowflake here below the 90 or below VWAP. I have to say I am seeing some higher lows here. Like we got this 141 base. Then we climb that on the T-bar to the upside here on your ski with your skis here at 141.60. Then we get to 142s. 142 base holding. We don't want to range. We're trying to break above here into VWAP. I would like to see us snow plow through that 142.60 area. Then we have this little pop here, 142.80. And I mean, hey, that big, nice black diamond mountain here at 143. If we can get to that, that'd be a nice look here. But we're about 50 pennies away. Oh, I shared this story on the market recaps. The last time I skied, I was almost 17. And it was the day before my 17th birthday, and I wiped out so hard they had to get a snowmobile to take me off.
No, you actually got hurt, eh?
I mean, like I'm really injury prone, so I was technically fine. But they still, like, you see an individual wipe out like that, they do kind of have to snowmobile.
Really? Oh, for liability purposes?
Well, I think they're just like have you ever played Wii Sports when like when you fall and they're like
Yeah.
That was what it felt like. I had my feet up above my head. Like one of the skis flew off. Yeah, I mean, I was on the black diamond to be fair.
Okay,
but I think but I was doing well before that point. Fair. But I think the black diamond here for snow, which hopefully will not have to be snowmobiled off of the course, will be that 143 level. I would like to see us continue to the upside. Always happy to be here in this awesome community. I wish I had to talk about my reads on things have been bad at the very least, but I would like to keep taking a look here. Let's see how we do on this. Guys,
Neil's freaking out about Amazon because it's almost going to touch 200. So I think he's justified in his exuberance because we were talking about this bad boy making another 200 touch a day, and we're not far. We're less than 40 pennies away from the high day currently and that 200 touch. We know what happened last time. It did reject 200. This is it right here on the 27th. It happened around midday. So almost a little bit actually earlier than it happened today. Here, let's go back and zoom in. There's the candle. This is from the 27th. The exact high, 199.84. This one over here, 199.78. Generally, tried to touch that 200. We're still not there yet on the day. HOD still, we're at that 199.63, so we haven't touched 78 or 84, but like you kind of feel like it's a matter of time. I don't know whether we get that 200 break or not. Who knows? Maybe the people with the money able to push it through that 200, and we're right back into 63s again. So sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to point out that Amazon was making that big boy move.
Yeah, I know. I think it was Michael Moore in the chat saying that Amazon looked kind of cup and handle. I mean, no matter what pattern you want to slice it, Amazon looking like a big old bowl there. Also, call me a Capricorn. I am a little bit stubborn. My horns are not bullish, though they are bearish. I am shorting Tesla again. I know, but I really stand by. I know I made the, but I do have confidence in this trade because I've been watching it like a hawk, and I have not been getting involved every time I want to. Do you know what I mean? That we had that 229. Look at these lower highs here. Look at these topping tail candles. I'm taking my 30 pennies. I do not have a large enough position to be scalping in and out because that is just, we made some boo-boos. Tesla ran me over there with its Cybertruck earlier. We got a little bit scraped, felt that stainless steel. So we're trying to make smarter life choices. Having a smaller position here, I do stand by this. I know I'm short.
Bang.
Took 30 pennies on that small position. Why did I get out where I did? Why did I not stay longer? Like I said, could not scrape out, did not have a large enough position for reasons that I actually stand by. Like I said, don't want to risk too much. Point B, okay? I also like that area because we kept, look at all these bounces off the 70s. I'm happy I got it where it did because now we're climbing right back up. If we keep rejecting, I will keep playing this as a scalp. If we want to bounce here, see a little bit of a move off 229, I will scalp it long. I needed this trade. Again, obviously still very much down on the day, very much down on the week and month and quarter, but I'm always bullish positivity. I'm always bullish on opportunities. That's why I kept staring at Tesla, not because I thought something would magically change if I stared at it, though maybe, I don't know. But in all seriousness, the reason I kept staring at it is because I like to learn from my mistakes. Tesla, this chart can only be described, there were some positive trades, but mostly a series of questionable life choices. Now that we've broken down that 228.70 though, now I see more of an impetus for a short if we come back, retest these levels. I'm happy I stuck with my guts because if you don't have confidence, what do you have? Let's see what we do here at 228.40s. That was an area of support for me earlier, and in fact, we are bouncing here.
I've got a dip trade to defend this area peak on ANVS that we put in at around, what time was that? That was 12:48 print on the one. It came into 870. I'm trying to front run it at 875. Look, I could have sat there at 9. I would have printed at 9. I didn't see a support level other than just being the whole dollar level at 9. That's why I didn't place my dip at 9. It did triple top off 10. There was a momentary breach of that $10 level. I believe it got to 10.05, but Huadunk went the dynamite subsequent to that 10 breach. And, initial bounce off 9. I'm still waiting for this 875. Like, let me tell you, this is what I'm looking at here on the 5-minute chart, and this is why I'm looking to get. Let me quickly look at Softy though, because the future just put in a topping tail candle, so I'm very interested in that 457 short on Softy here. So I don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna have to digress because I want to put in something on the soft one over here. So the soft one did get into 30s, so that would have to be a 20 penny stop if I was to put it at the highs there. If I was to get in here's. If it was to get in here, yeah, I think that's the right move. I don't know, man, because the future's at highs. I don't want to be so presumptuous to think that I'm going to be able to guess top of the future, but Neil's like, guess it. Neil's
peer
like the
pressured.
devil on my shoulder. He's like, go, take the trade.
He has the red glasses to boot.
Yeah, he does. No, Neil's not a devil.
I'm joking. He's like the red,
The orange glasses, that's I think what she means there, Neil. What I'm looking for this short over here, I'm trying to decide whether I want to get in or not. I'm going to get in. We'll just come what may, and then we're going to put the stop through the break of the third of a dollar. So 457, we'll put it at 33s, and we'll look to cover the entire position in the 39s. So we're already out of the money by 2 pennies, but we're gonna pack our patience with this one. 457 short on Softy. Let's look now at ANVS. Yeah, this one still holding 9 at 9.25, but most notably, we're still getting those lower highs. I still like this level over here on ANVS, and let me show you exactly what I was looking at now on this name. So the 10 exponential, which I was complaining about, the 10 exponential on the 5, which I was complaining about that it got far removed, extended away from that 10 exponential, is at 850 or 856 right now. It moved up a skosh. And then, so I said to myself, okay, you could put it at that 10 exponential. That's a decent area. You always trade off that level. And then I saw this topping tail candle at 8 1/3. I'm like, okay, well, this is a price action resistance level. I know that for a fact because it did reject off that. So let me place it right above that 2/3 of a dollar. I meant 8 2/3, not 8 1/3. Let me place it at that 3/4 of a dollar area to front run the size. And so that's why I placed it at 75s. I didn't choose 90, I didn't choose 50, and that was my thinking there. So if we get the entry into this, we're obviously not going to give it all that much room because it's obviously quite parabolic, up 74% and change. And I'm going to get stopped at a Softy anytime now as it's back into a $1/4. So yeah, not the best trade on this one, but I did like that 457. Still, yeah, here we go. We're going to get stopped out now as it makes that move into the 1/3 of a dollar. And that's the end of the trade there.
Yeah, that, yeah. Hard
the way it
times
is.
and Softy, unfortunately.
There it is.
But yeah, I do want to, yeah, I did. I always feel badly making jokes like that. But no, yeah.
That's a good one, though. I got to give you that. That's
Pardon?
a good one. That's a good one. I'll give you that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sorry that it was killing you, Softy, with his.
Ah, okay,
But,
okay.
Yeah, I'll stop now. But we have said, yeah, shout out to.
All good.
Oh, I was gonna say flat bottom break.
There was no
But
flat
yeah,
bottom break.
I was confused by that.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, I want to, shout out though to Sharif for that 50-penny Amazon trade. They're really like, Sharif's always ready to get involved with Meta. No regretta, I cannot trade Meta. So yeah, I want to shout out. Always so happy to be on this here desk. I'm still looking at, speaking, on this desk lot, I've traded a lot of Tesla. Maybe too much Tesla today, but I am still watching this 228.20 area. This is a weird kind of hold. 228.20 was an area I was like vaguely looking at earlier. I was much more interested in 228.40, but 228.20, if you want to be interesting, I mean, like, hey, I'm interested in that as well. We do have this topping tail candle here quite massively, as you can see, rejecting off the 90 MA, which is one of my favorite levels to look at. So keeping an eye on this TSLA, but also keeping an eye on the SPY. Seeing a couple comments here about the SPY here. Nana Desart saying long SPY. I mean, yeah, the SPY. Climbing up the spout here. I briefly had a long, and I do not think I risked enough in this because that would have been a nice move here. I'm just laughing at myself here. I got long SPY at the 545.80, got out 545.70s. Now we are at a cool 546.70. Shout out to anybody involved in this. Yeah, I mean, we're continuing to climb higher here. Seeing a bit of a pause here at this 546.70s, but not a bad look here for the SPY. As Opie sometimes says, it's the spider is climbing up that spout. So good look there. Tesla breaking below this 228 area, should have been a bit scalpier with that. Let's take a look at AMD as well. Curtis the Conqueror asking about Nvidia. Hopefully you're conquering that trade. I've seen a couple other people as well, like long Nvidia, or sorry, long AMD. I meant AMD there. What's the look here for AMD? Let's see how AMD goes, what we can see here in AMD. Wow. We get, you know what I will say, bull flag. We had a bit of a bull flag here. We had this push up here. We chop and churn. And then we have this in confluence with VWAP. We have a little chop and turn, then we push up beautifully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. A cool 8 5-minute green candles. Great look here for AMD. I don't know if we're AM done this rally. I cannot tell. I'm not seeing any signs of slowdown, but we are near that previous pop and drop here around this 161.20. And I'll see if we can pop and lock it, polka dot it, country vibe it, hip hop it. Here, that Hannah Montana, the showdown. Hopefully, let's see if this AMD can keep moving here to the upside. I like this AM. This is a great look. Go Amazon. Here's Amazon 200, says Neil. Ooh, Amazon. Let's see if the Express delivers that $200 area. High of day right now, 199.90, 199.99. Well, we're getting close here. We had this, this is a nice little bottoming tail candle here with this 199.80. We're gonna do the lesson post haste, but I wanna see if we can get this Amazon 200 breakout. What a look here, we're getting so close. This is much like the Apple 220 where it was a nail biter. This Amazon, this is even like, this is a new all-time highs.
I gotta love
220. This is something we definitely wanna see here. Amazon, let's see if we continue to have this, to make our Wazos to the upside here on, our Jeff Wazos to the upside on AMZN. Oh, this is going to be a
There's monster size there. There is about, I would say about 6,000, maybe 7,000 lots sitting at $200. That's why Neil was trying to get my attention. I didn't have the level 2 up, so I didn't see. So on, here, the New York book, there's 4,300. Here we go. On EdgeX, oh, it's just moving so much. There's 1871. On EXB, there's another 1871. On MEMEX, there's 244. Okay, so there you go. We're still getting a bit of a tug of war right now happening on AMZN. Sadly, we don't have the Amazonian next to us so that we can get him to chime in on Amazon. But yeah, right now, the ask still below that 200. I haven't seen anything on the tape on the left over here print at or below 200. 200 Amazon, Ob.
Oh,
there, the Amazonian has returned. He felt it. There was that innate instinct with his stock.
He said Call of the Wild. That was
Call of the Wild, he says. Shout out to Ob.
Also, he's wearing green. Amazon's green in the jungle.
On, Ob.
Confluence. Oh boy.
Do you see the wattage, Ob? Oh, there it goes, baby. So a little zig, $20, 217 HOD. Below we go, obviously, as it triggers a whole bunch of shorts. But here come the buyers. Now, tug of war happening here at that $200 level, 1 1/3. Right now, the buyers losing as we dip into 80s a dare. We'll have to see how this one obviously does. But that goes without saying that $200.17, a new all-time high on AMZN. But right now, I don't know, never want to make any pronouncements like we know what's going to go on. But right now, the shorts or the sellers winning right now, Adair.
Yeah, I don't want to, I think the only appropriate thing to say is, oh boy, to that Amazon 200 break. I really don't, yeah, they're getting a nod there from Obi. But yeah, shout out to Amazon, shout out to anyone long Amazon taking this tiny, pardon? It's not gonna do that move without Obi. Also, guys, like I know you could not see this, but the way that Obi like hustled over to the desk as Amazon,
he was moving.
There was a speed, there was an aggression, there was a viciousness with which he ran towards that. Not ran, but there was a hustle there. Also, Tesla breaking below 228, but I'm gonna have to wait and see what it does there. 220, wait to see what we do at 228 because it's time for the lesson of the day.
Ooh.
Also, it's time for you guys to vote. You only have 24 more minutes left to vote. If you want to see Obi and Neil apply their Obi confidence and their Neilage to these stocks that you guys choose, go in there right now. Get involved, exclamation point, join, space, $, Apple, Tesla, Amazon. I don't know. You guys know what you're looking for. Get involved there. Find out what happens. What, I made that sound so ominous. Yeah, just pick whatever tickers you want to see. But also, let's talk about MACD divergence. I also wonder if you've got moving average convergence, divergence, are you then converging?
Oh,
you know, are
double
you
negative?
I
like it, Adair. I like the way you think there.
I don't know. Yeah. The insurgent says Fabian in there. So you've got your MACD insurgent. No, yeah, shout out to Fabian there. Shout out also
Fabian.
Oh, cleaning it with detergent. That's pretty good. Yeah, I got to shout out Fabian there. He's also killing it on his own today. So shout out to Fabian and Ramin always. There we go. Let's talk, though, about this MACD divergence. So imagine you're looking at a stock chart and you have the MACD indicator, right? So normally, the price movement in the MACD will tend to move in the same direction because it can give you a sign. We talked about crossovers, so those can give you signs of movement, but generally, they will, in fact, tend to move in the same direction. So what happens, though, when you have a divergence? That's basically when you're going to have the price and the MACD move in opposite directions. Two roads diverged and it would, and I took the one less traveled by, and that's made all the difference. Maybe shout out to Robert Frost.
Bang.
But that's what happens when you have the divergence here between the MACD and your stock. That can give you a sign that there could be things in the water here and hint at a possible change in trend. So let's talk about some types of divergence. There are two main types of divergence to watch out for. One of them is going to be bullish divergence, which occurs during a downtrend when you have the price making lower lows, but the MACD starting to form higher lows. This can suggest a weakening downtrend and a potential upside move because the MACD is telling you got a little bit more move up here. Now let's also talk here about bearish divergence, which of course is going to be the opposite. You have it occurring during an uptrend, and the price will continue to make higher highs, but the MACD line will start to form lower highs. And in that case, you are going to have a weakening uptrend or a suggestive weakening uptrend and a potential downside move. Also, I am seeing a tap of 1060 for Anovis, guys, 1062. Just I wanted to check that for some people asking about Anovis Bio, seeing a 1062 tap. Now let's talk about bullish MACD divergence. So look, you have your price move down here. We just made a lower high. However, in the MACD, we've made a higher high or higher low. So that can show you, you've got a little bit of divergence that can show you maybe we have a move up. In this case, we do in the price. And again, these are not always going to be absolutes, as I always want to appreciate that Sharif always says it's never going to be absolutes. It's just kind of signs of things that could happen. And in this case, that's just one example of what can happen in these situations. Now let's talk about bearish MACD divergence. We have higher highs here on the chart, but we have lower high in the MACD, and so this can show we have a little bit of a downward trend. Now let's help understand this divergence. So a divergence is not going to guarantee a trend reversal, but it can suggest a shift in momentum. So why is it important? Because losing momentum can be worth noting when you've got the price going up or down, but the MACD weakening, that can show whatever trends in, even if it doesn't show the reversal of the trend, it can show that the trend is losing steam. Amazon?
Oh, no, I was like, I wonder why I got triggered out there. But yeah, you're good, you're good.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. Because yeah, Amazon, we want to know what's happening in that jungle over there. But yeah, basically that can show you that even if you have, even if it's not like an actual sign of a trend reversing, it can show the trend we're in as weakening. I did not mean to make sure you laugh so hard at that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I never know what he's going to laugh at, but I enjoy it. Yeah, appreciate it.
That jungle.
Yeah, the jungle is George of the Jungle. I don't know happening there in Amazon. But let's talk about the potential reversal as well. So even if you don't have that trend reversal, you can sometimes have a loss of momentum. But the MACD divergence can also show you that there can be a potential reversal. So the weakening momentum can not only lead to the trend halting, it can lead to a trend reversal. The reversion man, shout out to Obi and also to Jerome Powell, who was not talking about Taylor Swift this morning, even though he was weirdly asked about her. The weakening momentum can lead to a trend reversal in the opposite direction at times, right? But it's not set in stone. It's not foolproof. You want to be aware for confirmation. You always want to see some confirmatory factors to make sure you have confidence before entering your trades. Divergence is a warning sign. It can be, a yield sign, not a stop sign. It's not going to be a guaranteed reversal. You want to look for confirmation from other technical indicators or price patterns before acting on your trade ideas. False signals are also something to be very cognizant of. Divergence can be misleading, especially in volatile markets. So you want to make sure that you're not going on one signal. You want to see a host of signals there. And let's go beyond the basics. The strength of divergence is worth noting as well. So the greater the difference between the price movement and the MACD, the stronger the divergence signal. But that doesn't mean that you need big divergence. Sometimes you can have little baby divergences. It's younger cousins, it's younger siblings. Little signs that are showing you, hey, this could be something to look at, something to keep an eye on, and something to be aware of. So hidden divergence is when you might have the price making new high or new lows, but the MACD not quite reaching the previous highs and lows. That could still be a sign of divergence. It could just be like a little warning sign. So here's your bullish hidden divergence here. See how we have this slightly higher low here and a slightly lower high on the MACD? That could just be a sign there's some kind of divergence here in the woods. And now the bearish hidden divergence as well. You've got these lower highs here on the chart and slightly higher lows here on the MACD. So these are, again, signs that just things to be aware of. You're not always going to see the big pattern. You're not always going to have a huadunk or a flat bottom break. Sometimes you might just have a price that falls off its level.
Bang.
And that's valid too. And that's going to be my analogy with these MACDs. But guys, remember, MACD divergence is a valuable tool for spotting the trend reversals and for spotting weakening momentum, but it's not going to be a golden rule. It's a tool, not a rule. It's just one thing to have in your arsenal. Shout out to the mustachioed man to my right. Also, we have a super chat here. Mark the Realtor 305, shout out to Miami. And the Drake song 305 to my city. Netflix, big sweeps on 700 calls. Shout out to you. Hopefully you were printing on that. Let's pull up Netflix. See what's watching here, what we're watching on Netflix, what's in the top. Oh, okay.
Pushback number 2. Was that number 2?
I think it's not been a lot today. But look at this bounce here at 675. This is what I call a range. 675 to 676.50 here on this range here. Chopping and shorting. This starts making me miss Lily. I'm like, what am I doing with Tesla? I'm going to be trading these. No, I'm joking. I don't need to be trading these big old spready dudes. Netflix is a spread of over like 50 cents right now. But let's take a look at the daily chart and see what we're doing on Netflix for these 700 calls. Okay. We had a range on the intraday chart, look what we have a range on the daily as well. We are bouncing. We are bouncing here off this 670 in the daily with a top of 685. I think we could have a bit of a bull flag. I think if we break below 670, things get a bit dicey here in Netflix. But hopefully, whatever you're watching makes the Netflix top 10 there. Mark the Realtor 305. I think that's a great look. Tesla getting that 227, so you know what Cybertruck I have on my eye.
Rivian, headline with Rivian, Volkswagen, Rivian in talks on expanding partnership to hardware. It just had been software to that point. Rivian didn't want to give up the ghost with respect to battery, with respect to propulsion. So it looks like they will expand that partnership. RIVN up 4.5% right now. Let me load up the set chart. Wow, everything's moving and wow, today's nuts. And I just can't get a read on things, but everything's moving. Come on, I can't even maximize the chart. That's how much trouble I'm having today. Rivian, there we go. Topping tail candle through 1470. It's already had a decent day, but that volume candle right there, over 2.5 million shares on this last candle at 130. It's going to close in about 30 seconds or so. It did come up into that 1469, 1470 area above the volume weighted average price right now. An expansion of the partnership, not announcing, obviously, the partnership we already knew that was taking place. Volkswagen going to invest about $5 billion in Rivian, which helps with cash. Obviously, that's important for these electric vehicle makers. We just had another 200 attempt here on AMZN. We looked like we found a bit of a bottom. Are you done the lesson?
I did do the
lesson. Okay, perfect, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we're done.
No, make sure.
At 1940, generally 1950, and right up into 200 again we go, not breaking it quite yet. 217 is the high a day. So momentarily selling, and then now attempt number 2 at taking 200 on a closing basis. We didn't do it last time, as you can see. Even on the 1-minute chart, it was very short-lived and very fleeting, that break above 200. So goes without saying, it didn't close that way on the 5, didn't close that way on the 1. Still resistance to be expected at 200 here for AMZN, but we're much closer to it, than we were about a couple of minutes ago. So let's see if we can get another attempt at it right now. 1/3 in the clear is AMZN. No specific headline for Amazon on the day, not the one that I know of anyway. I'm just looking here. It looks like some other guy on halftime report added to his to his AMZN there. Remember last time was a Josh Brown pump?
Oh, yeah.
So some other dude on that other channel today adding to their Amazon position. But Amazon really, I think, the most pronounced catalyst that I've heard from them as of late was them wanting to take on Temu and Shein. And essentially what Temu and Shein do is they get around tariffs by having all their products south of $800. So if you have your product south of $800, you forego any tariff coming in from China. That's how they're able to keep the price so low. But a lot of back and forth between analysts about the real purpose of Temu, of Shein. A lot of people making the argument that they're looking for your data. They're looking for your buying habits. That to them is worth more than actually making money on these products. That I don't know if that's going to be the business model for Amazon, obviously, but that's really the biggest catalyst I've heard from them as of late. Them wanting to take on those 2 players, and those are big players. I mean, we've all seen what PDD has done the last year. Shein, obviously, a private company. They're looking to go public on the LSE. I know they filed not that long ago. But nice trade, Adara, on Tesla. Tesla's coming into VWAP. You want to talk about it?
I would love to, if you don't mind. Yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, no, we remember too, we saw what the PDD and everything did as well on that move. So these guys did get a little bit hit by that. Tesla, I took the 227 short. I've been saying I wanted that 227. I wanted that smoke. Sorry for the aggression. And then I said that 227.40. I kept playing that as a short level earlier. It's like Adara, it's clearly support. Play it like support. So I watched it, said, Adara, if we get to 227.40s, then obviously try to take it as a long. But if we don't, take it as a short. When I got involved, I waited for a 227 breakdown. I said, if we get into 227, like I was literally, I'll risk into 20s. I'm not even risking into 40s. I'm like, we'll keep this tight. Happy I got it where I did. Got out 2/3 of the position at 77s. Again, just watching the book, seeing levels I was interested in. Then got the rest out, the final third at 226.40s. And Tesla, if you want to keep having that rejectla, keep rejecting here at 227s, will I take you short again? Yes. I have some qualms because my read on Tesla, I should have said Tesla.
There you go.
Yeah, my read on Tesla is not, my read on anything has not been the best today, but that's why you have to keep believing in yourself. Keep having strength in, and I was, I made back some of the L's we took earlier today, still down in the day and the week, but you know what I'm always bullish on? Positivity.
There you go.
I am as green as this little turtle, who's also kind of blue. But go turtle and go positivity and yeah, go markets, go Tesla. I'm in a great mood today, guys.
Fantastic.
You're not gonna have winning trades 100% of the time, but you do miss 100% of the shots you don't take and 100% of the trades you don't make. Tesla currently bouncing a little bit here, so I don't want to get short right away. I'm still watching my 227s and my 227.40s.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Elon. Already many Chinese resellers on Amazon. It's going to be a little bit different this time, Elon, because what's going to come from China is going to come in the same format as it does with Temu and Shein. So they're going to be very cheap products, longer delivery times, 9 to 11 days from my understanding. You're not going to have that same, e-commerce business just in a different light. No, it's going to be very much discount based. It's going to be very much, we'll see. We'll see exactly what business model they follow, if they come up with their own or they just take the stencil of Temu and Shein. But yeah, I realize that there are already plenty of people selling on Amazon from China or importing from China and selling on Amazon. It's not going to use Amazon's distribution center. So you're not going to get the product. It's not going to be sent to you from Amazon. It's going to be directly from the sellers in China. It's going to take a long time to get there, and it's going to be subject to tariffs if it is above a certain price. But so don't expect the same kind of fulfillment service you get from your Amazon same day, next day. No, it ain't going to be like that. So I see what you're saying there, but I just want to point that out. So we did get a bit of a dip in this market, but as quickly as we got that dip, as quickly as we got the buyback, look at that 10 exponential touch on Meta. The same thing on the Zon right there. Here comes 200 on the Zon again. Let's go back to that because there was a lot. Yeah, here we go. So definitely not the same lottage that we have on Amazon now that we had earlier. We had about, I don't know, I counted over about 6,000, 7,000 lots. Now you're not seeing anything like that. But that doesn't mean there isn't a wall of sellers hiding vis-a-vis an iceberg. And there it goes again, above into 210. But just like that, it is met with a wall of selling. So we're going to have to see, can the buyers overwhelm sellers on this day, on this occasion, on this time? Because right now, 200 keeps coming in over and over and over as a level of resistance. Unsurprising, though, guys. Basically watch that, to trade it, it's going to have to resolve, right? Because you can't trade it if it zigs and zags like this. It's going to have to figure out which way it wants to go, and then, hopefully we'll get the right way there. I'm still keeping an eye on some other Mag 7 names. It's not just Amazon that's making moves. Meta just printed another high a day right at 510. So did Softy at 457.95, basically 458 right there. Apple just broke above that 219.50. Again, it's on its way to $0.75 for another maybe 220 attempt here. It already had multiple 220 attempts, all of which have rejected. Goggles right into 185, broke 185. Go Google 185.09. It's like $2 off the all-time high. Great recovery today for Google. Not one that you typically see move, $4 in a day, but that's what we're on track to do here if we get into the $0.50, 185 $0.50. 181.56 is the low of day. So plenty of range here on goggles. Tesla is really the only one that's retracing, and that includes Nvidia right now because it's coming into VWAP, and we all saw Adair had that great trade off 227. It is finding, let's zoom in a little bit, see exactly where VWAP's hanging out. It just bounced exactly off VWAP and now is breaking above 226 again, but there's a whole lot of tug of war happening here between said buyers and sellers. Let's see if we can move up. We're already $1 above the volume weighted average price. Great recovery there, but it's one candle. Don't put too much into that, but nice defend there for anybody sitting with a resting order at the volume weighted average price for that long. You printed there. I hope you continue to do so. And yeah, let me know how it goes. Right now, though, everything really close to highs. 20,200 incoming possibly on the future.
Yeah, that's a crazy look there. I just tried to short the VWAP breakdown on Tesla. I need to stop doing this. I have a good trade, and then I make another questionable trade that it's like, girl, what are you doing? That's all good, though, I mean, I need, It's hard because if you feel confident in something, you want to take it, but you also don't want to lose the gains you had.
100%.
So it's like, you know, do I want to trade confidence or P&L? I think I'd rather trade my confidence, but also then it's like Adara, maybe look for more confirmation before you take the trades. I did, to be fair, I was proud of myself. I waited to see us get below 226 before getting involved, but Tesla did have that bounce right off that 226 level. It was magic, as Sharif said. There was a crazy bounce. I really thought we'd break down because we were holding it at 226.30 like a glove, and then we broke that down, and then I was like, okay, the short's in, and Tesla said, what do you mean I don't wear shorts? I only wear like capris. That's the shortest I'll get. So I'm like, okay. Basically, I took this a smaller size, but I clearly did not manage the risk well enough. I shouldn't have got involved in the first place. What I could have, should have, though. I'm happy I tried it. That's what matters. I mean, it doesn't, but it does. You know what I mean? You only learn through learning. UV to great. Wait, did that make sense? You only learn.
Well, yeah.
You only learn through doing? I don't know. But does that?
Yeah, even when you're like not actively learning, you're still passively learning.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You only learn through learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like UV to great saying, see profits, take them, period. I agree. I should have just said make profits and got it. But shout out to UV to great, hip hop recording artist. Everyone in the chat is great. You also all only have 6 minutes.
Jeez.
6 minutes to go in that chat. Didn't time fly? I think so.
I think it
Go
did.
in the chat. Exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Maybe it's GME, maybe it's AMD, maybe it's AMC, maybe it's AMP, maybe it's, I don't know, Nikola. You guys pick what you like. Go in there, that chat, and make that vote. And hopefully, as Sharif said, maybe campaign. You know, have like little tiny campaigns. We believe in a democratic process here. Whatever ticker you're interested, getting involved. Luis Lugo saying brilliantly what I was trying to say there really hard. You only learn through experience.
Bang.
I agree. Jonathan Greenwald saying learning is earning. I gotta give that a round of applause. Do you have the bang button? Because I don't have that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I know you have the bang.
Yeah, we can put that on your stream deck
Thank
any
you.
day. Just let me know.
But yeah, so bang to that. Learning is earning. Even if you're not making P&L, I like to think of it as progress and learning. Today, the P&L, the progress and learning has been on fire the last few days. I'd like the P&L to be more on fire. Right now, it's on fire like in a bad way. Like, you know, when we had that little like smoke situation at my place, where we had all the smoke in a bad way. But it's all good. I feel really energized, ready. You know, it's only 2 days in this month. We have a whole month, a whole quarter, whole half a year ahead of us. I'm ready to keep going.
All right, it is now 2-0 Netherlands over Romania, okay? Because this is a very important match. It is knockout stages. Romania did quite well. I got to give hats off to them. I didn't expect them to reach the group stages. Surprise for me. Cody Gakpo scoring in the 20th minute. Neil will know him as one of the Liverpool strikers. I don't know who this person is. Malin. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. Cody Gakpo assisting that goal that came in the 83rd. It is now 2-0 to Netherlands, who I believe actually qualified vis-a-vis third place. They were one of, I believe, 2 third-place teams. Yes, Netherlands won 1-1 in the group stages with 4 points. They finished third in Group D, which was the toughest group. Austria won that group. France second. They advanced yesterday. And Netherlands getting in vis-a-vis third place, but definitely performing because they're winning 2-0 now, about to go to the quarterfinals. Shout out to them. Doing real well here. I'm setting up for a dip trade on AMZN. I'm going to try to take possible 3/4 touch over here. There we go. We get it. If it breaks 60, I'm out. It's going to have to hold this area over here, 199. Let's go 59s. And then we'll get out everything at the $0.50. I'm looking for a higher low. Last time it came into 60. So if it holds up at the higher low, accumulating for that 200 break, that's what I'm trying for here. Really nothing other than that. So we're going to sit in front of that 200. Let's hit low 90s there. But if it breaks 60, we're going to get stopped out of this one for 16 penny loser there if it breaks 60. Very close right now, trying to hold above 60, but the wall of sellers coming in fast and furious there on AMZN. The 10 exponential on Amazon is at 50. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe I drop my stop a little bit to defend the 10 exponential possibly here, but that wasn't really the trade. The trade was supposed to be a higher low for accumulation of 200 touch or break. So I don't want to change it. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. So back into the 70s we go, but nothing really happening here. Mark, Rivian, heavy call action. What did I miss? What did you miss? We announced it, my man. So essentially what's happening with Rivian is that they're going to expand their partnership. This is the chart on Rivian with Volkswagen. Initially, it was a software-only type of deal where they give them, you know, everything EV related for the software. But now it's going to be a hardware deal as well. We can only speculate that engines could be included, propulsion systems could be as well as other things. I don't have the details on it quite yet. It was sent to me vis-a-vis Brendo, and the headline was exactly how I read it to you guys. So we'll see what kind of partnerships or how the partnership manifests. But I'm liking Rivian a lot more lately. I got to tell you, you know, it's definitely not one of the ones that, you know, I liked as an EV play. But Rivian looking a lot more attractive lately. And I gotta tell you, I'm also kind of biased for Polestar. And the only reason I'm biased Polestar is because I see a lot of them on the road. That obviously is probably regionally based, but hey, what can I say? Shout out to Fabian. So yeah, we'll see what we get there. Now, back to AMZN, because we're still holding this 76 dip trade here. Into the 80s we go. I'm sitting there in the low 90s for a fill. We'll have to see if we can accumulate for another 200 touch or so. Right now, definitely a wall of sellers coming in at this level. By the way, Softy, is this all-time high on Softy? 1 second. Yes, okay. So we just printed another all-time high on Microsoft. Yesterday was the previous all-time high, and that was 457.37. It is now 458.33. MSFT, another all-time high. I mean, I'm not surprised with the market doing what it's doing right now, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, I am not either. This market is wild here. We're just pushing higher here. SPY up about 0.3%. We've got Qs up about a cool up almost 0.2%. Great look here for these here markets. Let's take a look at that SPY, see what we're spying. Shout out to Nando's Art in the chat, I believe, said long the SPY, so I'm sure you are printing. I would have to say hope you print, because I know you're printing if you got long there. Look at these bottoming. Also, a moment of silence for my SPY long. I risk way too little, risk 10 pennies.
Feel you.
Yeah, you gotta learn though from stuff,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Clearly I had the right idea. I think this was the dip. I just didn't play it correctly, so I'm gonna take that, knowing that the dip was right, because I'm really proud of the entry level. Man, did I not execute it properly, but that's how you learn. The Mark the Realtor, 305, 199. Thank you so much for another super chat here. Thanks, I'm in Rivian. Can you cut AMC, popcorn, film reel? Let's see here what's on screen. What are the trailers like for AMC price action? AMC.
Get it.
As a certain individual to my right sometimes says. It's hard to say here. I gotta say, we do have clear resistance for myself at 533s. Look at this. We pop up to 533s, looks kind of bull flaggish. We bounce nicely, double bottom here off 520s, confluence with VWAP. I like confluence. We put not as much as we're going to see in 10 minutes, but I do think confluence is always great. Then we come to 532s, we actually look above. Then we come back, make a higher low. Does it look like we get a breakout here at 533s? Yes, it does. Do we? No. We come back here, we do make a higher low from 520s. Our new low is 523, and we make another higher low here, but right now we're below VWAP. We're running into some issues here at 527. I think we need to clear 533. I'll take a look at the daily chart as well to see, you know, what might be on tap for the next movie in AMC's theaters. I see someone pumping.
Go 200, baby. Let's go 200 again. We're holding 76s, Adara. So I want that 200 break, and we're not getting it, right? Yeah, and now the size starting to show up again. Remember how last time the size had dipped down a little bit? Now it's starting to come back. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, best of luck there for, that was not, I said best as. Best of luck there for you. I hope you print, as you always say. I'm surprised Opie isn't running over, because last time you had like the psychic ability.
Well, because it's like the third time or the fourth or the fifth time
it's
touching
attempted so many
200.
times
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, right now, AMC, I think we're finding some nice little support here. We did have a slightly higher low here at 450s. I like this. I would like to see us push higher into 552s. That was that kind of next candle we got. But yeah, not a bad look at all here on our pal AMP. Definitely making some higher lows on the daily chart. Also, I did scalp another Tesla 127 rejection. I only took like 20 pennies on it, but I was really proud of this. You know, Sharif sometimes says, call me crazy. I'll say, call me stubborn, but I keep trying to take this level. I still see stuff I like. That being said, we keep bouncing off VWAP, so I do need to be cognizant of the potential long here. I'll keep scalping whatever I see here. Don't stop scalping.
Bro.
Yeah, keep doing what you have to do. How's Amazon going?
Hey, we just finished. We just took it out at 200. But you look at Softy go. I think we might see 460 today on Softy. 458.81. I remember this thing trading at 225 like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just insane what AI has done for Microsoft as of late. It's got to be the biggest market cap now, though, right? Like Softy with this latest ascent, 3.4 trillion, 3.409 trillion. What's Apple at? Apple's at 3.369 trillion. Nvidia is definitely below that, 3 trillion. So the world's most valuable company printing new highs as we speak, 458.81 on the softie, up only 0.43% on the day. But that, that doesn't really matter because if you looked at this one, essentially off that 454.75 bounce, yeah, you're doing real well and you don't really care if it's up only 0.5% on the day. Yeah, Amazon still accumulating, printing 97, south of 200. So I'm like, look, I got to get up to go to the green screen, just flatten out now. And we flattened out at like 97s or 98s or whatever. There, Meta coming back into 509. And the reason I mentioned that, and not because it's the whole dollar level, but because Meta has really respected the 10 exponential this afternoon. And the 10 exponential is like 30 pennies away from current price action. So anybody looking for a possible dip trade on Meta, up 1%, 0.93, definitely not a bad look. Softies above, Amazon's above 200 again. This time it's accumulating at 10s, but it's still being met with aggressive selling. I still don't have even one 1-minute candle that has closed above 200. This one might though. Here we go. There it goes. A new all-time high on AMZN. 229, 2 Mag 7 names today, 3 Mag 7 names today, printed all-time highs. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, all printed all-time highs today, new all-time highs for both. Great day for the Mag 7 names. Even, Nvidia is still holding up here. I mean, it's definitely off the low. It's still down 1.4% on the day, though, dear. Oh, do you want me to go on?
Oh, no, sorry, it's okay. Yeah, Fabian was just telling me, they're talking about some meat production over here. Some of these meat production names apparently have some nice catalysts here. That's something I want to look more into. Yeah,
meat
thank you for
production?
Yeah, I guess like Hormel and stuff like that. Why can I? Yeah, but yeah, apparently because of 4th of July cookouts. But yeah, Tesla, I wanted to take that long. I'm going to shock everyone. I really want to take this long Tesla, 226.55. So we had slightly higher lows in the book initially. I wanted 54s, chased it a little bit, 55s. Tesla said you could not run fast enough for this Cybertruck. I was not allowed into the party, into the Cybertruck. Unfortunately, it pulled a Jerome Powell, closed the doors on me, but it's all good. You just got to keep going, got to keep fighting. I have to say, the last 2 days, the market has been like, Adara, get yourself together. And I'm like, I understand. I totally get it. I need to definitely be more caffeinated, be more prepared, be more agile, be more focused. Now, could I look back on today and be like, Adara, you spent way too much time looking at one stock? Yeah, I could. But also I could be like, no, I had levels I liked, didn't always play them correctly, but I learned that sometimes you have to just sit, you have to look, you have to watch, you have to wait. Should have done a lot more waiting than I did, to be very clear. Sometimes we're a little bit more too active or more active than we should have been. But yeah, what I showed her, I believe it was Caputi Electronic Music in the chat saying, like, don't be too anchored to bias. I will admit, I am very short bias, and that's the thing I want to work on, so I do want to shout that out. I think that was a good lesson for me today. Good lesson with Tesla. I got shut down yesterday, did not get shut down today, which is something, small victories. But no, all jokes aside, I take everything really seriously. And yeah, we definitely took some paper cuts or some stab wounds for the last few days, if you will. But that just means I'm ready to come back harder. Obviously, do not being down, but we're always bullish positivity, and that is sometimes what's going to matter here. Now, the SPY continued to, climb higher. I spy some more up spied on that SPY. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. Itsy Bitsy Spider. Shout out, yeah, that's always pun there. Continuing to climb up that spout here. Look at this bounce. Got to push back, and my mic fell with it. But look at this here. We got this, again, chart pattern's not always going to be relevant here in the futures or the ETFs, but this 546.40, this is clear resistance earlier. We bounce on a wick basis, not once, but twice on the 5-minute chart, and then we push higher. So I like that 546.40. Looks like some more upside here on the SPY. Let's see how high that spider can climb.
Okay, I just want to leave you guys with one final thought here. Rivian is on its way to day high. The day high printed much earlier at 9:55 was the IB high. Here comes the IB high. Come on, Rivian, load up. There we go. 1478, guys. Headline for Rivian. There goes. New high a day on Rivian now, 1482. It's starting to pick up here, and the volume is really starting to pick up on Rivian. It started really at 130 and has continued. So I will see you guys all at the big screen, and yeah, keep your eye on Rivian.
Yeah, definitely Rivian to the upside there. But yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for, pardon? Oh, Sorry. Yeah, thank you so much to Sharif for everything. Thanks for being here today. That was not English, the lesson. And shout out to Sharif's Amazon trade as well. Amazon, amazing. Look there for Amazon on the Wazos, continuing pushing higher here. I wanted to pull up Eli Lilly because some people were mentioning Eli Lilly here with, you know, there was a lot of volatility here on Lilly. We did have this 880 bounce. We did have this move down to the downside. Brendan brought this in the morning show. With regards to Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, the news that the Biden administration was like, you know, these drugs are too much, these weight loss drugs. So recovering really nicely. Apparently there was a catalyst in this. I'm trying to find out what that catalyst was on Eli Lilly. But yeah, we've had a lot of news of approvals recently in different areas. Trying to find the most, oh yeah, FDA approving Eli Lilly's Alzheimer drug. So Kisunla getting some approval. So hopefully Kisunla, rather than later, we'll be able to see that in stores. But yeah, as Sharif always says, it's always great when we have catalysts like this with regards to mental health. So good luck. Eli Lilly's Kisunla drug getting approved. Great bounce off the 900. Wow, Lilly. Wow, the volatility is great. Volume about 3 million. I always say, if it's not a milli, I will not be getting involved with Lilly. But yeah, I mean, Lilly well below or above a milli here. This is a great look on this L to the Y. Tesla rejecting once again at that level. I like that 227.40s. That is, I keep saying that's the level here on Tesla, or one of the levels here on Tesla, 227.40s. Yeah, it looks like we have Neil and new Neil, if you pay attention to the position board here. Neil and Obi are going to be on the show, dropping that Neilage and that Obi confidence. You're going to be seeing them in a couple of minutes. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. This is a really eventful day. As Sharif said, not one, but 3 of the Mag 7 making new all-time highs. What a fun day to be trading. It's a shortened week, but no shortage of fun stuff to keep an eye on. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right now, though, we do have Sharif. A couple seconds here in that green screen. Hope you guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Obi, Neil, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to look at the tickers that you voted for on the midday show. Make sure to vote every day on How to Trade with Adara and I. Really interesting day today. Goes without saying. We're going to get to the tickers and the futures in a second, but 3 of the Mag 7 names have all printed new all-time highs. Microsoft